Way back in the Disney. Because we love bitches.
Coming soon to this theater.
Dummies. Dummies. Dummies.
It's alive. It's moving. It's coming this way.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Horror Movie Club, the club where, what do? We talk about horror movies, of course. We always make sure that the movie that we're talking about is not behind a paywall. That way, if you're jazzed by listening to us talk about tonight's movie, guess what? There's a link below in the description where you can click on it and it will take you to an absolutely 100% free, uncut version of the movie. Now, If you haven't seen tonight's movie, if you haven't seen the original OG Dawn of the Dead, what are you doing with your life? I don't understand you. I really don't. However, it's okay because I'm here to help. We're here to help get your life, straightened out in the right direction. Because Dawn of the Dead is, you know what? I'll go out and say it. It's the greatest movie ever made. Fuck Citizen Kane, right? That's not even fucking top 20 as far as I'm concerned. Dawn of the Dead never gets tired. It is always awesome. There are now there's 4 different cuts of the movie. Well, there's a 3D version of the movie. What can I say? It is just a masterpiece, a game changer. It is, of course, the sequel to Night of the Living Dead. It has a really interesting history. I don't know how we're going to cover this movie in like 90 plus minutes because holy fucking shit, I could just do an entire stream series just on this one movie. Yeah, have you guessed that maybe I'm a little bit of a George Romero stan? Yeah, to be sure, but we're going to get into it, and also. We're going to take a look at all the different copies.
Nice.
Because there's going to be a little, some understandable confusion concerning the different cuts of the movie. But I'm going to sort all that shit out for you, so don't worry. You're in good hands. Speaking of being in good hands, is my boy, your boy, Matt Burke. What's going on, brother, man?
What's up, man? How you doing?
It's good to see you.
Can't wait to talk fucking Dawn of the motherfucking Dead, man.
Bow, 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 bow.
First zombie movie I ever seen. I seen it at a very young age, and yeah, a big influence on me. The whole fucking bikers taking on the zombies, dude. That was so dope.
Oh, so good.
My favorite part.
So fucking
what up,
good.
Timothy Olsen? The fuck you doing in the chat?
Yeah. What up, Timothy? Good to see you, brother, man. And we got our man Paz Wops. How are you doing, man? He's spewing his guts out because he watched the unedited version of the Dead, which has a lot of extra fucking gore in it, I might add. Holy shit. If you didn't notice all the extra headshots.
Yeah, I did. I did. It was
way
more.
Scenes are extended. Because look, here's the thing. The original Dawn of the Dead, I think, clocks in at, let's see, all right, a little over 2 hours, right? And all right, because let me dispel the confusion here, right? This is the Ultimate Edition.
Ultimate
Dawn of the
Edition.
Dead. Ja, hold on. Let me mehr Licht in here. Ja, sehr gut.
That's good.
So, why are there so many different versions of this movie? Okay. Oh, first of all, look at this. This is great. Look at the back of that.
Oh, hell yeah.
Isn't that fucking great? The team. Then on the inside, you've got, there goes one of the discs. You got pictures of the cast and the zombies. And lots of cool bonus material. But the thing that is really interesting about this is that it has the different versions of the movie. Now, there is the U.S. theatrical cut, right? This is the one that you saw in the movie theaters that I saw in the drive-ins when I was a kid. This is the version that was released on VHS, the machete zombie on the disc.
What's up, Edwin?
Then there is, and this is where the confusion comes in, the extended version. The extended version is often misrepresented as the director's cut. It is not the director's cut. What this is the version of the movie that was shown at the Cannes Film Festival in 1978, right? Where, it's a film festival, and also it's a place where people show their films to look for distributors, although Romero already had one in Dario Argento. So you got the extended version. Romero always said that this was not the director's cut. And that the theatrical version is the actual director's cut because he trimmed it for pacing purposes. Now, for me, Dawn of the Dead is one of those movies. It's really about the only movie I could think of that could never be long enough. I'm hoping that in Romero's vaults, where they keep discovering shit. By the way, they just recently discovered a 3-hour cut of Martin. Still waiting on that to get released. I'm hoping that they'll find more Dawn of the Dead and just make that movie as long as it possibly could be.
As long as time.
Dude, 9-hour Dawn of the Dead, I'm with it. So then you have the European version. This is the version that was released as Zombie by Dario Argento. So Argento was the producer of the movie. He was a big fan of Night of the Living Dead. He contacted Romero personally and said, why don't you come out to Rome, and live here for a year and write the screenplay? And so he and his family picked up and basically went and took a vacation in Rome, and an extended vacation, and he wrote the script there. And the deal that Romero and Argento had was that Romero would be able to cut the movie any way he wanted for the American release, and Argento would be able to cut the movie any way he wanted for the European release. That's the difference between those two versions. And the Argento version's a little bit shorter. Now, all of these 3 different versions of the film have bits and pieces that are not in the other versions. That's why the extended Mall Hours cut is, for me, the definitive version of the movie, because it takes every bit of footage that exists and makes that movie as just throws it in there. Even though, there's like bonus gore, bonus headshots and shit like that, stuff that doesn't move the story forward. But goddamn, I'm happy to see it. This is the 4K version. Now, why did I buy the 4K version when I don't even have a 4K player or TV? This was released by Nicholas Winding Refn, by the way. The guy who did Valhalla Rising and Drive and those pictures.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and this has a 4K version of the Dario Argento cut, but it also has the previous 3 versions, the theatrical, the Cannes Film Festival cut, and the Argento cut on Blu-ray.
And we got all this.
So you know, the 4K version, I can't even watch that yet, but that's okay. That's okay. And cool little liner notes. So yeah, had to have that. So I hope that dispels any confusion that there may be regarding the different versions of Dawn of the Dead. Let's see. Let me pack this shit up here. And real quick, Week in Horror shit. It turns out, speaking of Dario Argento, that there is going to be. I'm not sure where it's premiering. I think it might be on Shudder, but there is going to be a version of not a version. It's going to be a documentary, actually, about Dario Argento. Dario Argento Panico, it's called. Let's take a quick look at the trailer for that. There, of course, the dope-ass soundtrack from Tenebrae.
He's more like a painter.
That's Nicholas Winding Refn, by the way.
A musician, you know.
Era di un fascino per una diciottenne senza fine.
Aveva il senso dell'umore.
He really seems to get a jolt out of the terror.
Mi inseguiva in questa grande casa, mettendomi paura. Io
Of course, that was Guillermo.
Ti prego,
Yeah.
basta.
Guillermo's been dropping his Frankenstein locales.
Well, one of the things I love
a lot.
One of the things I love about Guillermo is how much he'll like give props and take time out to do shit like this. Talk about the filmmakers that inspired him. And that is Michele Soavi, who was an actor in a bunch of like Lucio Fulci movies, Argento movies, just Italian trash movies in general, and then went on to become a great director himself. And well, I'm not going to get into Michele Soavi. He's got a really interesting story, though.
L'argento è una cosa che tintinna, è una cosa preziosa.
Dall'argento è la paura.
No, invece andiamo a squartare la gente.
Presa la coltellata!
Pronto? Vai.
Yeah, it's always one of the things I always find interesting is that the hand of the killer in his movies, that's always him. That's always his hand.
Yeah, put a stamp on it.
Io l'avevo visto tante volte.
Yeah.
Recitare della vita.
Well, it's kind of like giving a handmade feel to things. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it was actually like the face hugger when it's in the egg in Alien and it's kind of moving around. That was Ridley Scott's hand that was moving around.
You got to put your stab on it.
Well, yeah, I mean, but also it's just like,
you know,
like I don't know about you, but like when it comes to like making comics, I regret that I can't print them myself. Like I wish I could like pour the ink and press the button that gets the machine rolling and all that stuff. That's kind of how I see it.
Io faccio quello che faccio perché voglio essere amato.
Yeah, and there's his very, very hot daughter, Asia Argento, who unfortunately is a bit of a fiend. Yeah, this was when they were making that horrible version of Phantom of the Opera.
C'è sempre la famiglia.
Nel senso, io sono mio padre, quei figli.
Io cerco il panico, che è una scatto in più, che è una penetrazione più profonda.
Yeah, and it's, you know, here's the thing. Argento hasn't made a good movie
Panico.
in a long time, but it doesn't matter because he made so many great ones. He's still a fucking icon.
Yeah.
I mean,
I gotta get Shudder, man. I gotta get Shudder for all that fucking creep show. I've been slipping on that. I gotta like schedule out viewing time for things. You know what I mean? Just because I'm working and working. You know, even this movie I had to watch my phone.
you're a working man, you're a family man, and you're an artist too. So that's a lot of hats you wear, brother.
And then I fall asleep. It sucks. I'll fall asleep in the chair. I got my drawing board here, my phone right there, and it's like, fuck, man. All of a sudden, I wake up. It's 5 o'clock. I'm like, oh, I got to go to work in 30 minutes. You know?
Oh fuck. Oh shit.
It happens
Well,
sometimes.
Here's my attitude towards Shudder. Main reason I have it is for Joe Bob Briggs, right?
Oh yeah,
Because I'm a Joe Bob stan. Fucking love that dude. Anything he does, I'm with it. If you have Amazon Prime, it's like an extra $6.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna do it. You know, maybe I'll probably put it off to like maybe a few more months. I'll probably get it in July. It's far from now, but yeah, I'm planning, dude. I'm planning big. I already have like the next 15 months planned out.
No shit. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, son.
Yeah,
I don't have the next like 2 days planned out.
No, I have to, man. There's a lot of stuff I want to do in the next, between. I want to try to launch my next book in March of next year. So, I want to do a lot.
War?
So, yeah, definitely. And it's
yeah.
working on that and other things too. Just keep the juices rolling.
No, yeah. I mean, like I've been having trouble just really getting going myself. Like I said, once I get a couch in here and a proper desk and stuff like this little kid's desk I'm using,
yeah.
I have a feeling like that's when I'm going to start getting shit done. But right now, I'm just still like recovering just from being punch drunk for the last 3 years.
Yeah,
it's like for 3 years, and my head was like a fucking speed bag.
Yeah, a good chair. A good chair is what you need. Just one good chair. But sometimes a couch too is cool just to sleep on.
Well,
they're both like one good couch and one good chair.
Well, like I need a good reading chair, and I need a couch. And the reason I need the couch is because that's where I want to hang out with the cat. And then after I get the couch, then I get the cat.
I like sleeping on the couch sometimes, just taking a quick nap. Like it's for some reason it's better than the bed. It's more like sturdy and confined, like the bed. I don't know. Sometimes it's just too big or something. I don't know.
I mean,
and not because she tells me to sleep on the couch, but
no,
go sleep on the couch.
Naps are actually supposed to be very good for you.
Yeah, siesta.
Medically speaking. Let's see. Let me
back on real quick while you're finding that, man. Like it was crazy. Like when I was a kid, my uncle, my grandpa, and my dad, we all watched this movie, dude. I've told the story before. I don't know how young I was, and they brought it over, and I was just like, wow, just immersed in this world. And I was pretty young, dude. I think it was between.
Oh shit, Matt froze. It's okay. He'll be back. But yeah, I mean, I saw this when I was a kid too, and fuck, it left a very strong impression. This is a movie that can't help but leave a very strong impression on you. It's especially when it first came out, there was absolutely nothing else like it. If you talk to people that, as a kid, I saw it and I'd never seen anything like it. But I didn't realize how revolutionary it was until I got a little bit older. And you talk to people that are older that were adults when this came out, and they're just like I remember going to the theater and being like, "What the fuck?" Like heads blowing up and fucking plugs getting bitten out of people. I think Homeboy Matt is probably rebooting. Yeah, and sorry, Pops, I had to mute you because of the keyboard. But let's take a look at some.
I'm still in the middle of a conversation on the keyboard, so you can keep me muted.
Okay.
I'm still listening. I'm getting messages.
All right, dude. All right. Because sorry, that shit was distracting me. Let's see. Yeah, I need to have this turned into a T-shirt or maybe a tattoo. Or something. It drives me crazy when I'm talking to younger horror fans and we're talking about a horror film, and at a certain point I realize they're talking about the remake and they're not talking about the original very often. They don't even know that the version that they've seen is a remake. So people, don't be douchebags. Watch the originals of films before you before you fuck with the remakes. It'll make if anything, it'll make the remake more enjoyable because you'll get like
youngsters thinks those are the originals.
I know, it's crazy. That's what I'm saying, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like I've literally had conversations with people where I'm like, you know, like in a bar or something like that, we're talking about horror movies because that's if you're not talking if I'm having a conversation, it's not about metal or horror or comic books. I just
sorry, man,
get out of it completely. Welcome back, Matt.
Fucking internet just raining pretty bad over here, so got knocked out. I had to reboot.
No worries, brother. Good to have you back. We're just taking a look at some movie posters.
Oh, favorite part of the show.
Yeah, and some I was just showing this. It's like I want to have this like tattooed on my on my chest.
Pretty much.
That's it right there, man. Although this is slightly off. It's 1979. It's actually 1978, unless I'm not sure if they were released simultaneously or if it was released. The Argento version was released first, or if the Romero version was released first. And then, of course, there you see music by Goblin.
Well, all I got to say is bump. Ba-da-da. Ba-da, ba-da, ba-da.
Dude, when I was moving shit around, when I was in that U-Haul truck, every time I got behind the wheel of that U-Haul truck, it fucking shifted. Literally, the whole drive just fucking singing that.
Oh man.
Yeah, here's some of the Dawn of the Dead toys that came out. I didn't have this one, the Hare Krishna zombie, which is pretty fly. That one I had, it's all that shit's in storage. I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to get it back. We shall see. We certainly hope so.
Hey man, that's funny. Like you've seen him in like Devil's Rejects, right? Ken Foree.
Oh yeah, he's like he's the only actor in this that went to Hollywood and really pursued a career in acting. He's in the Halloween.
He has like in the Halloween movie. He has like the coveralls that Tyler Mane, like he's taking a shit. You know, he's reading a porn. You know, and he's a trucker, right? And Tyler Mane's just got out of the pen or the mental institution. He just beat some dude. Some dude was raping some chick inside there in front of him. He couldn't take it no more, and he killed the rapist. You know, and he fucking fled the asylum. And he's fucking huge, you know. And then he just goes to the gas station. They're bumping Tom Sawyer by Rush. And this fool goes in there and he's taking a shit. He's like, "Hey man, give me about 5 or 10 minutes. Let me pass this beast in peace." And he just keeps slamming on the fucking door, dude. And he has to fight with Tyler Mane. He takes that shit.
Because you said taking a shit twice, I gotta tell this story real quick.
Okay, go ahead, Pops.
You guys see the Flip City magazine trailer that we play?
No.
It's one of our sponsors. We play at the beginning of almost every show. Flip City magazine. Salty Cracker is in the trailer, and okay, it's a good trailer, right? I didn't notice until yesterday, dude. There's a blurb, like a comment about the magazine. You know, you get them little blurbs that you put on the back of your book, right? There was a blurb, and it said, "Making shitting even greater."
Give me some poop. Give me some
scat. Yeah, take this one to the bathroom. This made shitting even better.
We're gonna have to cover that movie on here sometime. I know you hate it, but just for fun. There's a scene.
I've never seen it. I can't hate something I've never seen.
He just grabs Ken Foree's hand. Ken Foree pulls out a big old knife. He's like, "Come here, motherfucker! He's trying to take a shit," you know. And Tyler Mane's just like, boom, boom. Michael Myers pounding on the thing, you know. He's my favorite Michael Myers. Fuck the world. And this fool fucking gets up, pulls out a big old fucking Bowie knife, you know. And then he opens the door. He's like, "Hey, what's up, motherfucker? You want some of this?" And then you know what I mean? I'm trying to take a shit, man. You know. And he just grabs his hand and just starts slamming his hand against the fucking the door, the stall door wall. You know, just boom, boom. Like it's pretty cool. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I know you hate zombie and zombie kind of, you know, and I love me Carpenter and there's a whole thing, but I like that movie, man. I do like, and I like what's his name? Malcolm McDowell. I like Malcolm McDowell in there as Donald Pleasant's character. Yeah. There's just some cool little things about that movie I like.
Yeah, I mean, there's my friend Chris. By the way, Chris, much love if you're listening. He's always trying to get me to watch that or Halloween 2. I think he's trying to get me to watch both of them, but there's also a fan edit of Halloween 2 that he says is great. It's on YouTube. Yeah. You can find it. Good. Yeah, evidently what the guy did was he went in and he cut out all the Sherry Moon zombie scenes.
Oh yeah, that's fucking funny. Yeah. I don't know. Like those two movies and Devil's Rejects are his best by far. I would say. And then you would like Lords of Salem because that's like the least probably zombie movie of all.
I heard it's horrible. What did you think of it?
You probably like it though. I didn't like it, but I could see you'd probably like it for certain things. Yeah, probably.
Why would I like a Rob Zombie movie that you hate?
I don't know. It just seems like a movie you like though. You know what I mean? It's weird.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like I always say, my thing with Rob Zombie, that's my thing.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I mean, you have interesting points and factual points. You know what I mean? And that's fine, and that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I
agree with some of them. You know, like fuck, wow, he did that, motherfucker, damn. You know.
Yeah, I mean, because he's a collage artist. You know, so is Tarantino. He's a collage artist too, but Tarantino's just a better collage artist. He steals from a lot of a diverse group of movies. Do you know what I mean? They'll steal something from an old Japanese movie from the 1960s. Then they'll steal something from an American exploitation movie from the 70s.
I love me some Tarantino. I ain't gonna lie. I love me some Tarantino.
That's fine. Rob Zombie, he just keeps ripping off fucking Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2.
Yeah, he did rip that off. Like,
it's
it was
the same
bad.
movie. You know? Every movie is just a fucking remake of that.
Yeah. No, it's like, damn, dude, damn. Yeah. But I mean, there was some cool shit in there. Like Ken Foree's role, the pimp, he was fucking dope.
I love me some Ken Foree.
About a different movie. I'm thinking about Devil's Rejects. Devil's Rejects had that. He had the pimp, and then he had Danny Trejo and Diamond Dallas Page Bounty Hunters. That was fucking dope. And
yeah, that's the thing. We love the same things. That's the thing about both of those guys, Tarantino and Zombie. We love the same shit, right?
Yeah, you do.
It's just you look at somebody like a Panos Cosmatos, right?
They just needed a couple of tweaks. They needed a Christgau on set. They're like, hey, brother.
Well,
hey, brother.
Well, I don't know about that.
I like what you're doing here, but no. You're pushing. No, they need you on set. Like, hey, dude, you're pushing this shit a little too hard. Why don't you go this way? No, I guarantee you, bro. If you were there, it would have been some fucking shit.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, bro. You know, I mean, you know, sometimes you want to let the artist just run wild. You know, the whole auteur theory, and then sometimes you need somebody hanging over that person's shoulder to keep them in check. Zack Snyder, perfect fucking example. He's not an artist. He's a visual stylist. Man of Steel was awesome. Why? Because he had Christopher Nolan and David Goyer kind of hanging over his shoulder.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? And then, you know, once they just basically just let them have carte blanche, and that's how we ended up with fucking Batman versus Superman. And
I don't know. Like, I think that's a good one right there.
Yeah, it is.
I don't like the palm trees though, because it's East Coast. It's not California.
But those are from inside the mall.
Ah, okay. I stand corrected. Okay. I probably would have put a moat down there in the title then.
Yeah. No, it does look kind of like not right. By the way, this is the board game.
No shit.
And I had this, and I gave it to my home skillet, Chris, because he is a Dawn of the Dead stan as well. And you know me, I like giving shit away, so I hooked him up with this.
Dude, I'm about to say though, man, that scene where in the beginning, you know, like where the dude bites his wife, you know, and like they're in the ghetto. It's so real, man. Like just the effects look so good in there.
Oh my god,
So good.
The effects
There's
in
Romero right
this-
there, huh? Chilling cold and the fucking.
That's Romero.
Yep.
And next to him, that's his wife.
Oh no shit! I know it was his wife.
Yeah. Like, get me another station. She's like, yeah, I'll just pull one out of my ass. And there's
There he
Rufus.
is.
I always called this dude Rufus. If you're a Dawn of the Dead stan, you generally have nicknames for the feature zombies. It's just the thing that I've noticed, right?
Well, I like what they nailed down the color of the black dude, like the dead black dude. You know, because when black people when they die, they turn that color.
I did not know that.
It's all 100%, dude. It just fucking looks creepy as fuck. It's like a lavender, you know.
Well, you know, of course, the special effects in this were by Tom Savini.
Oh,
Tom
yeah,
Savini wanted to work on Night of the Living Dead because he was from Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
but Vietnam happened, and
that's right.
he got drafted. And so he went to Vietnam and mainly worked as a photographer.
That makes sense.
And so he was going around taking pictures of dead and mangled bodies, right? And so he says the way that he kept his sanity was he would look through the lens. He would think, okay, how would I try to recreate that with practical makeup effects, right? And of course, you know, it left him wounded and scarred, but it also gave him a good idea of what mangled bodies actually
help him filter out the fucking PTSD too, you know.
Yes.
Something else, like that. He took that energy and filtered it into something else, so it didn't pull him down.
Something positive, something creative. When Romero was in Rome, he called Savini and said, "Start thinking of ways to kill people."
Some gags. Yeah, the gags. That's
literally those words. Start thinking of ways to fuck people up.
It's hard though. It's the hardest and the funnest part at the same time. You know, the fights and the kills and the deaths and all that shit when you're doing action and horror and comics and movies and storyboarding. Like, it's hard, but it's the funnest part, the most rewarding.
And in this, they're just fucking off the fucking hook. You know, let's say that let's take a look at, and this is great too, because I don't think we're gonna get ganked for this shit, because this is kind of not a mainstream movie. Here we go.
Martinez! You've been watching. You know we've got this building surrounded.
Now, this wasn't immediately clear to me when I was a kid, but the reason why they have this building surrounded is because the people inside are generally black, Hispanic. By black, I mean, you know, not just black people, but like Haitians, people that are really religious. And so they don't give up their dead easily. And so what's happening is the army's going around and they're collecting corpses. These people are like, you are not getting our fucking dead people. And of course, that turns their building into a time bomb. And so they send in the SWAT team. Mind you, this is back when SWAT teams were actual, like, SWAT teams. It's not like now where it's like cops playing dress up.
Yeah.
Right? They dress like ninjas and just run around and just fucking blast shit. This was when SWAT was actually elite police officers, right? Like the best of the best. That is to say, like the best shots and, you know, like so basically police special forces is what they used to be. Now it's just like fat guys with machine guns.
This is right off.
Yeah, that's John Amplis, by the way.
Makeup on it all?
And brown face.
Let's say it looked like he had some makeup on.
Yeah. Well, he oh yeah, there's
I remember him. He's in Silver Bullet. He has a little scene in there, a little role.
Yes, he does.
This is better than I got.
Hey, you ain't gonna talk him out of here. You gotta blow him out.
And he just can't wait to start killing black people and Hispanic people. He's just an angry, racist piece of shit.
I'll be okay.
Come on, you dumb bastards. Come and get him.
This'll try to the 1,000 feet.
Yes, that is John Amplas from Martin in Brownface. I always thought what was funny about this is he looks like he just stepped out of Assault on Precinct 13. Like he looks like he's literally from another movie. Booyakasha! Oh, and this poor kid, it's like his first mission, and he just gets fucking shot in the head, like fucking pretty much randomly.
Come on, you dumb bastards. Come and get him.
This'll try to the 1,000.
Blow him out.
Just stay cool, okay? When you go in there, don't pop off, all right? I'll be okay.
Come on, let's get on with it. This is a waste of my time. Let's go, let's go.
Boom. And that's one of the things that I love about this movie. You know, although it's fucking gore-soaked and it's fun, it's a really fucking effective horror movie. What up, Sim Dog?
What up, Sim?
What's up? Did you see my tagline?
No.
Zombies don't run, motherfucker.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yes, I did see that. Yeah. Yes, they do not.
Oh, yeah.
As Romero himself said, their ankles would snap.
Yeah, but they're decomposing. There's no way they can run.
It's the idea.
It's the entire idea. Like John Romero. George fucking went around and he kept saying it. Zombies don't run. Like, I'm sorry, you're decomposing. Yes. There's no way your nerve system is all connected still. And
if dead flesh were to get up and move, it probably wouldn't move very well.
Right.
Was what he would always say.
But the only other aspect is if there were not a virus, but
right, if it's
like chemical induced, like it's a mutation or something, then that would work. But that's not what those zombies in those movies are.
If you're right, in 28 Days Later, for instance, they're not zombies. They're the infected. They're human beings. They're alive. You can kill them the way that you can kill any ordinary human being. It's just that they're these diseased berserkers.
Yep.
Come on, you little bastards.
Here we go. Booyakasha!
Come on, you little bastards.
Booyakasha! Pump, pump! I remember when I saw that scene in the drive-in, people were just leaning on their horns. Let's take another look at that, because this is kind of a special. This is one of the. This is a special effect, right? And it's great when you slow it down because there he is.
Right, his face.
That was one of Tom Savini's first movie, wasn't it?
It was one of them, yes.
They're doing his first special effects.
He wanted to. He was planning to work on Night of the Living Dead. He was going to work on Night of the Living Dead, but then he got drafted and had to go to Vietnam. But he did the special effects for this, and of course,
he did the remake of Night of the Living Dead, the not black and white one. Yeah.
Yes. And the reason the remake of the 1990 version of Night of the Living Dead, the reason that Romero produced and wrote that was because he wanted the people that were the original producers of the movie to make some money. Because, of course, Night of the Living Dead is sadly public domain. And they never knew that it was going to blow up the way that it did. They didn't know that they had a classic on their hands. And so they forgot to copyright it or whatever. And so it's in the public domain. So that's millions and millions of dollars that those people missed out on. So Romero was like, okay, we'll do a remake. and that'll be a way for those folks to make some money.
And the remake was pretty good.
Yeah, I like it
it's
way more
great.
than the original.
I was like very happy with the 1990 version of Nightline.
Yeah, I stopped watching the black and white one, to be quite honest. Not that it's not bad. What? It's not that it's bad. It's just this. That one's good.
Yes.
No, it is. It could have used more gore, and there was more gore, but they cut it out. And one of the things that's sad is that footage is either it's lost or it's only like in real poor quality, like video, right?
And I like the fact that Savini appears in every goddamn movie except the second one, I think.
Well, what do you mean? Tom
Savini actually appears in this one.
Yes.
I know he's in Land of the Dead because he's actually looks like Sex Machine.
Well, no, he's Blade. He's Blade. He's a character from this.
Is he?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just
exactly the same. It was like an in joke.
Yeah.
It was fan service. Is what it was. Now, quick story about this head and how this ended up in the movie. Originally, that was supposed to be the head of Galen Ross, who plays Fran in this, right? The original ending of the movie, Fran is on the rooftop and the helicopter is going and she's waiting for Peter, right? But Peter, of course, has decided, like, I'm not going. I'm just going to, like, kill myself. And he does. And then she sees the zombies coming up the ladder. They're on the roof. And so she's like, I can take off by myself or I can just end it right now. And she chooses the ladder and just, like, puts her head up into the blades of the helicopter, and it fucking slices her head off or in half or whatever, right? Romero wisely decided that was not the way to go. That he wanted. Bye, Matt. I'm sure he'll be back in a second. His internet's all fucked up. It's all good. He decided that he was going to do he wasn't going to repeat the ending of the first movie. Right, which is totally bleak. So he changed the ending, but they still had this head. So what did they do? Tom Savini painted it to look like a black dude, gave it like facial hair and everything, and they filled it with all this shit, like things from like the catering table. You know what I mean? Like fucking shrimp and all kinds of crap. And and of course condoms filled with fake blood, and just took a shotgun and just fucking blasted the thing. Is it wrong for me? They're just reintegrating.
No, it's pretty sweet.
It's fucking amazing. And
I have to admit, I did enjoy this version of the movie.
Well, I can
understand why they cut off a whole bunch of shit in there, but it's a fun watch.
Right. Dr. Agita says this is the definitive cut. Maybe the first time a fan cut was.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'd say it's the definitive cut because I'm biased, right? Because as I said earlier, this movie could never be long enough for me. It really couldn't.
Technically, you should not make a new one. Like it's not the version of the movie to get somebody in it. Like
no,
you'd want to have the theatrical version of it.
Yes.
Because this is more for after you've seen the original or you already got into the Romero universe.
Correctamundo.
It is a definitive fan edition. You know what I mean?
Thank you. That's what this is. This is the definitive fan edition. As I was saying with like the Cannes Film Festival cut, which is also known as the extended version, when people would call that the director's cut, Romero would be like, "No, that's not the director's cut. The director's cut is the theatrical cut." Like I know. I edited it. He edited it himself. Romero
the flow is way better.
Filmmaker, which is to say, and that's very rare that you have directors that edit their own work. He did all the time. I'm sorry, Sim, you're going to say something?
Yeah, I just lost track of it. That's it.
Yeah, so
I'm looking for something.
Like, thanks for derailing me, motherfucker. Thanks for just stomping all over me while I'm trying to get a fucking idea out. Never. By the way, never to I'm. Look at it's fucking Dawn of the Dead. You expect me to fucking stay rational?
I just fuck you because of you. I ended up watching all 3 movies. I can't stop. I can't stop after Dawn of the Dead. I have to watch Day of the Dead, and then after Dead of the Dead, after Bob, I have to watch the other one because I love fucking Land of the Dead. People can say all the shit they fucking want about it, but I love the fuck out of it.
It's. I like it. I like it. I don't love it.
I love it because it closes everything. It grows everything. Like in the second one,
it develops
Bob
the
learns
mythos.
But it pushes the Bob theory. It pushes the zombie at the end of the second one. The fact that they're learning, right? And they're learning their old habit. Like
and that's really scary.
They touch it in there with the mall, and when they start doing thing, and then they push it even further with Bob, and then the third one, dude, it's fucked up. Like that's why I loved it. That's why I loved it. I'm not saying it's the best out of them, but it's definitely better than the second one. As a whole movie, I think the experience was better. It was more fun. The second one was, I love it, but if Bob was not there, the movie would be.
Well, here's the thing about.
See, if you remove just one thing from a movie, and the movie would be meh. You see, that's how I think.
Well, here's the thing about Day of the Dead. Day of the Dead was not the movie that George Romero wanted to make. I've read the original screenplay for the original Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, and it was epic in scope.
Yeah, but
it was going to be like the Ben-Hur of fucking zombie movies. Okay.
Me, when I watched it, every time I've watched it since I've been a kid, every time that freaking guy, that pussy, I'll just call him that, the pussy, and the lady seem they don't fit in. Character-wise, they don't seem to fit in.
Right.
Because the girl doesn't do much other than just being there. And the guy is so over the top, like, bitch, and slaps the girl. Like
Laurie Calcaterra's performance, by the way, in Day of the Dead, in my humble opinion, the best performance in all of the Romero zombie movies. Her performance is so good. Oh, well, Hart's hanging out. What up, Hart? Just talking about
You're talking about that's the name of the main actress of the second one?
And the third one, in Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead? You think she's the best? She's the best acting actress in all the freaking franchise?
Yes. I think that's the best performance.
Oh, okay.
I think she's amazing in that.
No, I think the blonde from Night of the Living Dead did better.
Like maybe it's her best performance, but not the best performance out of all the 4 movies.
I thought that the lady in here did pretty good too, especially when she was impregnated and she didn't want anyone to feel sorry for her. I don't know. I bought it.
Jalen Ross, well,
I don't know. When she starts telling them what to do than what she wants, I was like,
Well, I mean, maybe you were annoyed by her character, but her performance in that is absolutely fantastic. I think. Hart, what do you think of Laurie Calcaterra's performance in Day of the Dead?
You should probably remove the
Pretty damn
message in
good.
front of Hart's face.
A lot of the performers in Day of the Dead were fantastic, and even I think the villain from Day of the Dead, he really knocked it out of the park. A villainous role isn't always the easiest
did
thing.
he ever?
And when he gets ripped apart at the very end, and you got his giggling goons feeding people, that's kind of horror movie standard 101. But I thought that a lot of the critics really came down on Day of the Dead for that guy's performance. Oh, you got your standard evil army guy. But I thought his performance was really good.
Yeah, dude. That head
Joe
rip.
Pilato. Yeah, the kills in that, of course, are epic.
Thick crust, aren't we?
Joe Pilato, by the way, is in this extended version. He's also in the Cannes Film Festival cut. With the scene at the dock, right? The thing about Romero was he would get actors from the local Pittsburgh theater scene, and sometimes also there'd be actors from New York that would travel in to audition. But mostly they were local actors. Oh, here we go. They're mostly local actors. And so Ken Foray, for instance, he was one of the guys that decided, I'm going to pursue this and I'm going to move to Hollywood and pursue a career in acting, and was successful. Most of the actors in these movies didn't. The guy who played the hitchhiker in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, he said he went to LA because people were telling him you need to move there, and then you start just being in horror movie after horror movie. And he was just like, wait a second, the sky's yellow. Is it? I don't think it's supposed to be yellow like that. And so he moved back to Texas. He was just like, fuck it.
So Ken brought a real reality to it, especially as a big man. He brought a real vulnerability to the film as the big leading man. And again, you got to give it to Romero for casting a black lead like that back in the 70s. And it's not an exploitation film. His films have a lot going on for them that are beneath the surface. They're not just a guy with a chainsaw chasing victims. There's a lot of thought behind what George Romero did with the Dead series. And I feel that Ken Foray continued that path of having these alternative heroes. And he wasn't perfect. And I mean, what other major film, unless you were a football star, had like a black lead like this in it?
Right.
That was the second one, right? The first one and the second
one. The first one and the second one.
Yeah, Night of the Living Dead with, what's it, Dwayne Jones?
And the third one, Land of the Dead, had the villain, which was still cool too. I mean, so it was African American.
There's just something so stark and real about Dawn of the Dead, and it carried up that lineage of Night of the Living Dead. Just looked really real. It didn't there's a certain disconnect for me with Walking Dead or the modern zombie.
Oh yeah,
and I get caught up in it. They lose me in the reality of it. All the people in their underwear with their shit falling off, and eating weird food and grabbing any piece of meat they can in the original Night of the Living Dead. Then we go into Dawn of the Dead, like this scene you have frozen here. It's so terrifying when they go through the tenement building.
Yeah.
And it just felt really real. And I felt that Day of the Dead continued that feeling of it felt
look at that.
real.
One of the best bites in cinema, I think, is the two bites in cinema.
Yeah, I think it's one of the reasons why I also like Land of the Dead so much, because I forgot the name of the actor, but the main zombie, the main zombie, the black guy, he freaking sold
black
it.
guy.
I mean, loved
it.
Oh,
dude,
yes.
Big Daddy.
John Leguizamo was
Ernie's all over that
there,
movie.
and the Thomas Jane look-alike. I remember when I watched the movie, I remembered it was Thomas Jane. I started the movie. I was, no, it's not him.
I seen that motherfucker in the theater, man. I love that movie. I'm sorry. It's probably my favorite.
Look.
I fucking love it.
Came out, you know me. Day one, my fucking ass was in that movie theater. When Day came out, day one, my ass was in that fucking movie theater. Right?
Yeah, it's one of the things. I see them as a trilogy. I don't count
Yes.
Night of the Living Dead.
I don't either.
Because I see it as
as
a funding thing. It's weird. It's weird
No,
because
I know. I
it's
kind
so
of
old
zero.
and
I don't know why.
It's good aesthetically
Jerry,
almost
blasphemy.
years younger. You know what I mean? So to me,
me,
it's
it's
kind of like
convenience
it's
with Tony
its
Todd.
own thing, and then you went trilogy. Because that's
I
why the
honestly think
titles are
Land
the
of the
same.
Dead is the weakest
Dawn of the
film.
Dead, Day of the Dead, Land of the Dead.
Land of the
And
Dead
that's
is
why-
an example of too much money and not enough story. Land of the
Thank
Dead
you.
really was filled with cliches. Oh, you're going to be a guard on watch, and you're going to have fucking headphones in, and you're going to ride away from zombies on a fucking skateboard? Get the fuck out of here. Skateboards jam up on grid all the time, and you're going to be hiding or on watch, and you got fucking headphones in? I can't stand Land of the Dead.
You have fucking idiots
One of the
doing that
worst.
riding their bicycle
That
right now. So
scene-
you're telling me they wouldn't
It's
be an
fucking
idiot
shit.
doing
Land of
that?
the Dead is shit.
Kills
It's filled with
me.
too many name actors. It's filled with too many name actors, so you know they're not going to die.
Right.
They don't. It doesn't
Or
play
until the
across
end.
like a proper
I don't
independent
know.
horror
John
film.
Leguizamo
I don't know.
dies.
Things that
Leguizamo
made
dies.
Dawn of the Dead
Dies.
film
All the
and
big
Night of
names
the Dead
dies.
and Day
They all
of the
died,
Dead
though,
so
dude.
good is local
Hopper
actors
died,
that
didn't
weren't famous.
They
that
all
weren't
died.
big.
They all
There are
died.
no
Hopper
stars.
dies.
Land of the Dead sucks. What are you going to have a zombie ride a horse next? Oh, I think they did that. I think
Yeah,
George was running on
don't
fumes
even-
when he did Land of the Dead. Dennis
Don't
Hopper's
even Island of the
performance is
Dead.
Dennis Hopper 101. The performance I've seen him dial in a million times, and I'm a Hopper fan, but he dialed in. John Leguizamo is the same old John Leguizamo. Look, I'm the same character I was in the remake of John Carpenter's Assault on Precinct 13. Hey, generic,
I refuse
generic,
to watch
generic.
that. I refuse to
think
watch
George
that.
just did that for the money.
I don't know, man. I liked it. I like Bernie Wrightson's zombies
Headphones?
in there.
Here's my problem.
You're a guard and you got headphones in? You're riding skateboards away from
Well, zombie apocalypse.
I'm gonna be a dick. I'm gonna be a dick.
The blame thing next?
I'm gonna be a dick. I'm gonna fucking I'm gonna mute all of you bitches. I'm gonna mute all of you bitches. Okay. Forgive me. I have to get this out. I have to get this out or I'm gonna go fucking nuts. My problem with Land of the Dead is that Romero started listening to the critics, right? And the like all the social commentary stuff, is it in his movies? Absolutely, right? But it's a subtext. It's you could watch his movies and maybe miss it, right? Although it's kind of hard, I think, right? Especially in this one, the consumerist stuff. The problem with Land is that he started listening too much to the critics, and he was just like, okay, well, what's this going to be about? Oh, it's going to be about 9/11. It's going to be about ignoring the problem, right? So he basically starts with takes the subtext and makes it the text, sort of. Do you know what I'm saying? He was listening too much to the critics, I think. Do I like it? Yes. The fact that all these characters get together to go someplace and then never go anywhere and really do anything, right? It drives me crazy. I do like it, but I have to admit that when I saw it in the theaters, I was disappointed. Okay, you're all unmuted. Please forgive me.
That's okay.
Hey, it's okay. You had to make your point. I'm loud.
It's okay. It's
okay. Ted and Brian, aren't you the host?
You can't have all good things.
I'm just
Sorry, I got inspired by he was eating someone.
At least we all have at least we all like have our own takes and shit, you know.
Yes. Yes.
You know,
yes.
I'm sorry, you know.
You can have your own opinion.
Never be sorry for what you like.
You can have different opinions about
I'm not
art.
sorry.
Gee, art is subjective.
I'm
no.
sorry.
Sorry, but not sorry.
Stay clear! Stay clear!
Rumor has it that woman's screams were real because that guy actually kind of like bit a little too much. I mean, okay. So we're in like the first 10 minutes of the movie. Poor kid. Yeah, which is probably what I would do in that situation. I'd be like, okay, check out time.
Yeah, I like how he loses his shit.
The
how they set it up and he loses his shit. That guy, I fucking love it.
It's fantastic because it's taking this completely fantastic premise and it's approaching it like it's really happening.
Yeah,
right.
Dude,
of how people
come
respond.
across as like the Vietnam War in America.
That's why I like all those movies. Yeah.
Yes.
And it's one of the things I was telling Dave the other day when I was rewatching it, my bro.
Yeah.
I was telling him, like, I finally understand, you know, the magic of this movie and why The Walking Dead was so popular. Because it's technically those movies. They focus on they focus on the monster of the people being the monsters.
That a dead world.
Then the dead ones. Then the zombies,
in Romero's movies.
And that's what I liked a lot about the third one. That twist.
Yes.
It was confirmed and it was even pushed further. Now, the
setup
setup and the delivery was not that.
When you say the third one, because it's kind of like with the Star Wars movies, when I say the first one, they're like, oh, you mean the Phantom Menace? No, I mean Star Wars, motherfucker. So when you say the third one, are you saying
I already told you, I don't count.
That's ridiculous. You don't count Alien as the first Alien film. You don't count Jaws as the first Jaws film.
Yeah, what the fuck, Sam?
Dead
What
series
the fuck?
if it wasn't Night of the Living
No,
Dead.
because it's Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, Land of the Dead. Not Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead,
it's his fucking Chronological trilogy. Shaun of the Dead.
You're number one.
Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. They don't say Night of the Living Dead.
Night of the Living Dead.
Oh God. Oh man, I see. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Passion.
Exactly.
Passion. right?
And this
we
guy
wouldn't be fucking arguing and debating and oh no, fuck you, you're full of shit. It'd be passionate. I'm passionate about this.
I tried to explain it before, but you wouldn't let me finish. Oh, it's not counted as the first Poems for the Dead book. Somebody else decided that it's not my first collection of poetry. It isn't part of the trilogy. Some other creator who's not involved with the book decided.
Yeah, because I never gave a fuck. It was in black and white.
Okay.
That doesn't matter if you give a fuck.
It's too old.
It's the first film that sets up all the mythology.
I don't give a fuck. You don't give a fuck.
Lord of the Rings. Oh, Lord of the Rings. What's
I don't
that?
give a fuck
geez.
what you think.
The Hobbit doesn't even count. That's not even in that series. Get out of here.
Ding, ding.
Do you feel better now? How's your heart feeling?
All right, Brian. Did Brian have something bad to eat? Is he okay?
No. I just had to turn the heat off. It was getting a little too hot in here.
Dude, I've been experiencing the thing. Where are you guys at? Like, I'm here in the Midwest, and all of a sudden it's like 46 degrees out, and it's time to get rid of my flannel.
Dude,
I'm good out here.
It's like, what, 35, 36?
You're in California? Where are you at, Brian?
Here, it's cold.
Yeah, I am in the scenic Hudson Valley.
Brian's up in the north, or Sims in the north.
Yep, I'm in Canada.
Okay, so
you're in Canada, dude?
Yes.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah, he's.
And by the way, don't take it personal. I'm just taking dish at you. You know this, right?
No, it's okay. I like a good dust them up.
Yeah, but I just want to know. We haven't interacted enough, me and him.
It's assumed. It's assumed.
No, it's all good.
Although it's funny because like whenever I bust my friends' balls, sometimes I'm always afraid I'm going too far, and I'm like,
no,
my friends, I don't get it.
I've got a friend of mine here in Lake Geneva, and his brothers are cops, and he's a local guy, and we get into these really spirited discussions, right? And we get loud. He's a loud dude. I'm a loud dude. And we're in the bar, and people are like, are you guys okay? And we're like, no, we're fine. We're just having a discussion here.
Yes.
We're friends, and we've been friends for a long time. Guys, calm down.
Me too.
Passion.
Exactly.
We feel
Yeah. And especially when you're talking about art. When you're talking about music, when you're talking about comic books, when you're talking about novels, when you're talking about poetry, when you're talking about movies, when you're talking about theater, right? Art, right?
And it's all different, right? Like, okay, I've been making chili at home, and I've been going with more of a Tex-Mex because I lived in California for a long time, and so the people in Wisconsin are like, what the fuck kind of chili are you fucking making? You can't have that in there. And I'm like, I know you haven't been out of Wisconsin, but this is how they make chili in Texas, guys.
Yes.
And it's all about flavor. It like, okay, are you thin crust? Are you thick crust? Are you like New York to roll it over? And a lot of it depends on, like, for horror, what horror movie did you see first? How old are you? I understand where you're coming from, where you're not into the black and white horror.
Oh, no, dude, I was just joking about that.
A lot of
I was just joking about that because I saw it after.
Black
I saw it after because the thing is, to me, I saw Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. I saw the 1990 one. I didn't know about the black and white until later.
I saw Dawn of the Dead.
That's why I was trying to explain. I was trying to explain it before to Brian, but he kept talking over me for some reason. Right?
No,
the thing
dude.
is, the black and white one came out before. The black and white. The black and white one came before.
Yeah, it's headcanon. It's headcanon.
Yeah, but that's the thing is, I saw Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. Then I saw the remake, and that's why to me in my brain it's not part of the trilogy, but it's part of the same universe.
Headcanon.
Like a prequel that was made later. Get it?
Like there's those that saw Texas
Can I give an example?
The remake with Jessica Biel, and they had no idea about the other films, or they've only seen the funny Child's Play. They never saw the original spooky, scary Child's Play, the first one. But so that's the thing about horrors. It colors everything you see after it. It's one of the things I love about the genre because every generation has their own stuff, and it really depends on what they saw first as a kid. Did they see it with their mom? Did they see it with their dad? And you're completely confirming what I'm saying, man.
It's a bit the same reason why I like the original Friday the 13th, because in the originals, right? It was not the movies. Even when Jason came in, right? It was not funny. The movie was not funny. The kills were.
Well, the first Friday.
The kills made you laugh sometimes.
History.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think the kills are funny. I think 1 and 2 are straight up mysteries.
Yes.
And those are the best horror films.
I think 2 is really good. And I think 2 is a really good horror film. The first one I've never cared for. It's basically a remake of fucking Bay of Blood by Mario Bava.
I love the first one. It works, and the score is so unique and iconic. The score
I
really
understand why people love it. I understand why people love it, right? I just don't. But I also was never like a slasher guy.
I love slasher.
Which is why I love having my friendship with my friend Chris, who is all about the 80s slashers, because he's the one that could tell me, okay, you need to watch this one, you need to watch that one, because there were a billion, right? Now with him, like we're talking about headcanon here, real quick story. My home skillet Chris, once again, much love if you're chilling, if you're hanging out, brother.
God damn it.
He had never seen any of the Sergio Leone movies. He had never seen Fistful of Dollars for a few dollars more. He had never seen The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, right? Now, when I discovered this, I was just like, it shook me to my core because I can't imagine my childhood without those movies. So he had an option. The way that those movies go, The Man with No Names trilogy, it's a trilogy in reverse. The first sequel, For a Few Dollars More, is actually a prequel. And then The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly is a prequel to that.
When I saw For a Few Dollars More, I saw it first. That was the first one.
You can watch those out of sequence.
That was my first one. But here's the thing.
Right, but here's my point. He was then asking me the question. He was just like, oh, so maybe I should watch those backwards. Right? So he's going to watch those movies, and he's just trying to decide, okay, how is this going to be in my headcanon? Right? If he's right, and I'm going to remember these movies and love these movies for the rest of my life, am I going to watch them in the series in which they came out, or am I going to watch the story chronologically? He decided now to start with.
I prefer the way they came out as a creator.
That's an interesting idea,
director.
Isn't it?
I want to see it from the first one. Like, okay, I'm a reader. Do you guys read novels?
Yes.
Okay,
Dude.
so I recently came into contact with. What happened there, Brian?
It's a fucking library, homeboy.
There you go. All right, so a buddy of mine owns a comic book store in Delavan, Wisconsin, Trike Chemnitz, and he has a friend of his that's a pulp collector. So Trike showed up at my house with the first 60 Executioner books by Don Pendleton, which is where they based the Punisher on. So I got to sit there, and did I read it from number 17 and go backwards? Fuck no. I read it from the Executioner number 1. Right. And that's how I prefer to do it, like myself. Right. It's okay if you guys go backwards. I get it. But for me, I want to like read it from the top and go through the storyline. Like my girlfriend now is 22 years younger than me. So we're
you don't necessarily have that choice. Like Sim just saw Dawn of the Dead, right? Sim, you saw Dawn of the Dead first. You saw Dawn.
Did you see it on VHS or the movie?
The thing, dude, I was born in '76, right? So I grew up. So what came out was Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. Then they released the remake of the thing, but back then I didn't know. Right?
Yeah, the color remake with directed by Tom Savini.
And I'm a huge fan of Tom Savini since.
Did you like the Tom Savini remake?
I liked it because it was the first one I saw, right?
Yeah, I prefer it.
I liked it. I thought it was pretty good. I wish Tom directed more.
Matt, blasphemy.
And it's one of the things that I remember from an interview that, you know, like they considered like Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead, and, you know, starting a new franchise, and he wanted to do a third one, and then we got Land of the Dead, right? But that's how I saw them.
Do you know why they made the Night of the Living Dead remake, guys?
Yeah. We've touched it before because
we're talking about it because
you guys are talking about reestablishing the copyright.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Because Romero.
Sorry, I missed out on that part of the show.
Yeah. We did cover that, and that is really interesting. I want to talk about something relating to Night of the Living Dead and this scene. Now, Romero said that when he cast Dwayne Jones, he wasn't casting intentionally. He didn't cast him because he was black. He cast him because he was the best actor that auditioned for the job, right? And so when that screenplay was written, the part was written like it would be for a white guy, but then you put a black dude in it, it changes the entire movie. right?
Is it?
But he says that was not intentional.
Well, especially
but then
in the
again,
60s,
you look at that movie
especially in the
itself,
60s,
it's one of
it
those
does. It changes
films
the tone of the
that
film.
is.
Yeah. We're
It's
talking about
really-
the 61 now? I thought we were talking about this one.
The 68 version. The 68
Okay,
version.
okay. Sorry, I just don't know the name of the actor.
No, that's fine. That's fine. So that wasn't. He insists that Dwayne Jones was cast not because he was a black dude, but
yeah. But wasn't he the first black man to be cast as a main role?
Historic.
Ever?
Historic.
Yeah.
Not ever. Like there's been other films where there were black leads, but this was its own unique history-breaking thing in the 60s because it was in the middle of the civil rights movement, and there was so much shit happening with civil rights that that's part of why you've got. I mean, that's why there has so much of an impact of these redneck guys killing the black hero at the end of the movie.
Yes,
because you got to look at this in the context of the time that it was made. You have to.
And real quick story, incredibly important. George Romero, when he was driving the film, right? I guess like the original negative or whatever, or the original materials for the film, and he was driving to New York City to get the film developed, he was listening to the radio and heard MLK had just been shot.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Right? So when you read the original screenplay for this, it says in the screenplay that this big SWAT guy takes his mask off and it's a black dude. So in this, race is more intentional, shall we say. It's more on the surface.
Wouldn't you be willing to bet, Brian, that when he released Night of the Living Dead and the public, okay, when you release a film or you're an artist and you release a creation, you've created something and then the audience gets involved and society gets involved and they're going to take your creation. This is what it was like for me with the Dahmer comic book.
Right.
They took something and completely ran with it in a different direction than I ever expected. And I think that he dealt with this a lot because he didn't go from Night of the Living Dead right into this film. He made a bunch of different films, like especially the Empire film Martin, before he makes this.
That's
why stuff he did.
But that's one of the things that I remember from an interview. Like I might be wrong, but it's something that I remember from an interview watching a long time ago. This one of the reasons, and also the fact of the public domain thing. But it's one of the reasons why he never he considered himself that he was starting a new franchise with Dawn of the Dead.
Oh, for sure.
Because it was something new, and that's when when he did Land of the Dead, he wanted to close it. That's why some people got really disappointed because they were expecting like something more like the two first ones, right? And people like me and Matt, we kind of enjoyed the different take on it, like like Alien and Aliens. That's how I saw it.
Right. I mean? I'm not saying Land is a bad movie.
No.
I'm saying that it is.
I will say it's a bad movie.
But what I'm trying to say, it's the purpose out of it.
It's fucked up. It's all
kinds of it. It's like that. The first one was made in '68. The Dawn of the Dead was technically a 10-year celebration, right? So he went into Dawn of the Dead, and to Dawn of the Dead is my favorite of all of them.
Mine too.
And I even went and watched the remake of it, and I hate the fuck that the zombies are running. But I have to say two things that I really loved about it. I don't like it.
It was good.
It's good, but
I like the remake.
If you
know why? Do you know why we all like the remake?
Why?
Because James
I
Gunn
hate the
said
fucking remake. I fucking hate the remake. You know why? There's no fucking bikers in there. There's no fucking bikers in there. Fuck that
That's a good point.
There's a lack of bikers. There's a lack of bikers.
Right.
I enjoy watching it, but you have to
you
have to disconnect from the world of Dawn of the Dead because it's the rabies one. It's the infected one.
It's its own thing, and it's like okay.
But there's two scenes in it. There's two scenes.
And the thing is, James Gunn said, because I was going to boycott it. Honest to God, I was going to boycott the Dawn of the Dead movie. Right? I was going to boycott it, but then I read an interview with James Gunn, and he said, "Yeah, what I tried to do is I tried to make it as a remake. What the original." He wanted it to be like the Philip Kaufman remake of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which is one of the best fucking remakes ever.
They're completely.
What was the original Out of the Water? Genuinely terrifying movie.
28 Days Later, Brian. I think that the reason the fast zombies are in there is because they felt audiences had acclimated to 28 days later, then 28 weeks later, and I think that's a part of why the Dawn of the Dead remake had, quote, running zombies. And one of my favorite parts of Dawn of the Dead, the remake, was the weird paraplegic zombies that were like crawling across pipes and stuff. And I felt they left that kind of thing out. It's something that I liked in the later Dawn or Night of the Living Dead movies, where they dealt with the zombies in water.
Yep.
Yes.
That was one of the things I loved about the novel of World War Z.
Oh, yeah. Dude, I keep
one of my
trying to
favorite
get
parts is
suckers
the
to
dead in the
fucking
water.
read that or at least listen to the audiobook. They do not realize what they're missing. That World War Z is visionary. It's a visionary
good
fucking
book.
novel.
And who would have thought Mel Brooks' son would have written it? It's
The
written by
guy
Mel
who wrote the
Brooks'
Zombie
son.
Survival Guide. And the Zombie Survival Guide, don't get me wrong, is fun, but there's no way you could read that book and then think that that guy was going to write World War Z. No fucking way.
He wrote the
Dude did
Zombie
his
Survival Guide?
research, man. Like Chuck Dixon style kind of fucking shit. Yeah, this is also the extended version right here. This is footage that's not in the theatrical cut or the Cannes Film Festival cut. I think it's just in the Argento.
When I brought up the Dawn of the Dead remake, the only thing I wanted to say is there's two scenes in that movie that I think I was kind of disappointed they weren't in the original. When they talked to the guy on that little other roof there.
That's great.
That was fucking awesome.
It's the best part of the movie.
It's one of the best part of the movie when they send the dog and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was
so fucking
That's
sad.
pretty good.
It's so
and
fucking
the fact
sad.
that when they walk into the mall, there was other people in there.
Right.
Like it made no sense that there was not somebody else hidden in there, like a security guard or two or something.
Right.
Or, it's just other than that, like that when I watch the movie, that's all I like. You rarely watch a remake and go, "Oh, they should have thought about that in the original." That's what happened. Like in those two scenes.
Yeah.
Okay, I went like, "Oh, they should have thought about that in the original."
Right? Hey, like I said, I like the Dawn of the Dead remake. I think it's
a cool movie.
I think original had so much visionary stuff going on.
Yeah,
They had so many different locations, and they're shooting on film. I think that they had plenty to chew on, and that's probably why they probably didn't have a budget or screen time. Like when you're doing your script, like you got to look at every character and how is the character driving the story forward? Is the character driving the story forward? Is the character? That's my problem with Shaun of the Dead. Is every major character has like a 10-minute death scene where all of a sudden the zombies stand around and they're just like, "Hey man, say goodbye. We got to eat this guy now."
I think that was the point of the joke.
Satire.
Yeah, that's
not a great zombie movie. It's a satire, though, so you can kind of forgive it.
I thought they were serious because it's in all the other zombie goddamn movies. It's in fucking Walking Dead every other fucking episode.
Okay,
where the zombies just stand around and
drives
jack
me
off
crazy.
while this guy has his goodbye scene.
I know.
Right.
This is the thing that drives me crazy is all the knives in the skull. They just go around with knives. This started, I don't know what season, but they just go around with knives and just stab them in the fucking skull.
Yeah, this shit gets old.
Like, get really
You
close in biting
understand
distance.
how
Let's
hard
get
it
close
is
to
to
biting
penetrate a human
distance.
skull with a fucking knife? You can't. It's just going to get fucking stuck. It's going to get fucking wedged in there.
Well, that goes back to World War Z, and one of the best characters is the blind samurai guy.
Yes.
He goes to kill himself.
Now, if you have a proper knife,
have you guys been watching The Kingdom?
if you have the proper knife, an Arkansas toothpick will do just fine.
Arkansas toothpick. If you get them in the eye or like below the chin, nape of the neck, but they're just going and just fucking stabbing them in the fucking skull.
They're getting too close to those teeth.
That too. I mean, look, that's what I love about the Zombie Survival Guide, and then I discovered.
Yes, guys, I'm signing comic books as we do the show.
Zombie fandom.
Do you know what I think is this?
We have to thank Frank Darabont, and we have to thank the guy who created the comic. Really?
I don't think we have to thank Kirkman.
You mean Kirkman?
Concepts from Dead World.
Right, Robert
That's a whole other
Kirkman.
conversation.
Yeah, Dead World, man.
That was such a huge ripoff of Dead World by
Yeah, it
Gary
was.
Caliber.
It was.
Yeah.
Who's a friend of
A
mine.
whole lot.
No,
I know.
so much of that.
I read about
can't
that
get
10 years
behind.
ago.
Frank Darabont is fantastic. He's a great creator, and he's actually a cool guy.
He ripped like
I
characters,
used to know
right?
him in LA. He was the Hawaiian shirt wearing guy. He'd be at Dark Delicacies. Frank did a really good job.
What I think is the
Did a
stupidest
fantastic
part of the
job.
knife that you guys discussed, and I'm trying to say here, the stupidest thing about the knife in the skull.
What's that?
The thing is, you do have soft spot. You have to know where to go, right? That's done. Okay, I'm gonna cover that because Buff's right. If you have a nice little knife and you go on the side of the head or in the
little mini
the
katana,
middle of the top or the side, there's places to do it properly. The
Correct.
main problem is this. It's what Hart said. You're too close to the teeth. Okay, you don't even need teeth. They don't need to bite you. You just need to be infected by their blood.
Thank you.
You're there
And
with your
this is
fucking
why-
knife with fucking scratches, and you can cut yourself, and you're there stabbing them in the fucking head, thinking you're not gonna get splattered and blood
And
all
then,
over
like
your
the
fucking
hard
head.
parts of the skull, like you said, there's parts of the skull that you want.
yes.
Dead World, yes, and
That's
also
what I
I'm gonna
want.
say,
Yes.
Evil Ernie was also a ripoff of King Zombie from Dead World.
Yes.
Dead World is one of those
Yeah,
comics that is so influential in the industry.
That's
I
what I
know.
want. I got to pick
I
up
know.
all those.
And Mark,
Dude, I gotta
wherever you are,
when I just unpack these, Matt, I was thinking, it's like I got a feeling like these might be headed to either Matt or
All right, I
Preston.
brought Doc in here because I wanted to show Matt that Doc was actually awake and he's going to be at the
Oh,
show.
well, Doc.
Oh, I know.
Oh yeah, man.
Hell yeah, man.
Good to see you, brother.
Hell yeah.
Good to see you. Yeah, I'm not sure about the whole awake thing. I think I'm dreaming right now. None of you people are real.
So
But I'm going
you're
to
trying to
take
tell
your
us you're in
entrance
zombie mode.
as an opportunity to finish my thought, which is that we have to be grateful to Frank Darabont and Robert Kirkland for saving the non-running zombie. Okay, because everything was going to have fast zombies. I love Dead Set. Dead Set is fantastic, right? Highly recommend it. It's a BBC series. Very, very good.
I've seen
About
it.
a
It's really good.
reality TV series that's
Isn't that the
happening.
one that riff on Big Brother?
Big Brother and Shaun of the Dead, basically. Yes.
Yeah,
Where
but
it's
they're like a reality show on a set.
Yes, they're
Zombies
So
hit
they're
the
in a
world, they're on
reality
this reality
show. Set cut off from the rest of the world, and there's a zombie apocalypse, and they don't know about it.
Yeah, that was that's
Which is a really
underrated
interesting
series. It's
idea.
cool that you bring that up, Brian. That's cool.
Yeah, check that out. By the way, also season 3 of Black Summer, I regret to inform you, is canceled. Netflix officially announced there's not going to be any Black Summer 3, which is a fucking tragedy.
Well, that's why you guys should watch The Kingdom, which is all about a Korean in feudal times with samurai swords. Which
Oh,
we're talking about.
that, yes,
The Kingdom
yes.
is
I
the
have seen that. Yeah, no,
With all this talk about all the other movies.
Yeah.
movies
For
and
some reason, you
series.
said The Kingdom. I was like, what, is that something new? And I was like, oh, that.
Well, I thought there was
Did we get
also
any
a
new
really
seasons
cool
of that?
TV show by Lars von Trier called The Kingdom.
Yes.
It's very
With
fucked
Udo
up.
Kier.
So I can see how you could get confused.
Yes.
Yeah,
And then
like-
there was the
like-
Stephen King remake of that Lars von Trier series. How
Really, there
confusing
was?
is that?
What was that called?
The Kingdom Hospital.
Okay.
Kingdom Hospital it was called.
I didn't ever
What
see
up,
that. I
Adam?
didn't see that. I
Good
saw
to
the
see you,
original.
brother.
What's up, Adam?
3 days later, created the world of zombies, and it wasn't The Walking Dead that we could reset that. There we
Okay,
go.
Adam. Okay, buddy.
I know, dude. I fucking have typos out the ass.
I'd like to say one thing. One of my favorite zombie movies, since nobody mentioned it yet. Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah, Return's my favorite.
I fucking love that movie.
I'm sorry. Return just fucking. I'm sorry. That's the best one.
Here we are.
And they run. They run in there too. 10 more cops.
I fucking love that movie. I love that movie so much.
Like there's so many good things about that movie. Dan O'Bannon.
What, you're telling me the movie lied?
It's so good. And I'm proud to say I got to have dinner with Clu Gallagher on multiple
yeah.
times and tease him about his gay porn addiction.
Did you hear the story about the actress having to shave, hide, and then stuff a punani?
No.
The thing is that she wanted to. They want her to strip naked, right? So she strips naked for the dance thing. Then they go, oh, we can't see the bush. Like there's too much bush. You have to shave that bush. So they make her shave the bush. So after that, she starts filming. She's like all shaved like a little baby, you know?
Oh,
then they're like, no, now we can see the lip. Then they're like, we
get
can
that
see
out
the
of our
lip.
faces.
Then they go, now we can see the
That was an
lips.
abortion.
You can't do that shit.
This is good,
So what they
man.
did is that they made her wear something that she had to stick inside that was hiding the lips and making a little bush.
Yeah. It's known as it's known as a modesty device.
Technically,
They have
it's
a
a
set
butt
of-
plug.
of a sense of movies where
about?
it's like if you're walking around bare ass, you have like something covering your junk.
Yeah.
You're talking about a merkin.
Do what?
Yeah.
It's called a merkin.
America.
Look at this. I was talking about this last night. I just did like a quick impromptu stream because of all my fucking dope ass Starlog and Fangoria collections.
Nice.
This is like there's the zombie, the half zombie, one of the most memorable zombies of all time. I would argue.
Right.
This is Cinefantastique, which was like the Rolls Royce of horror and science fiction and fantasy.
I have that issue.
Dude, this is like a book.
I have that.
It goes so fucking in depth.
That's
And
such a
here's what I
good
really
magazine.
love: the conceptual art. Right there's the Tar Man.
But you know where the
What's the name of that artist? That artist is like a comic book guy, right?
It's Bill Stout.
Yeah, Bill Stout.
You
Right?
know that.
Now look at this.
Yeah.
Look
You
at
know
this.
that. You know that the
Look at-
creator
look
and the
at
writer of this
this,
movie is O'Bannon, right? The guy from Alien.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you know that
that Oolong?
movie came also from heavy metal.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
That's
Gremlins. It was.
Yes.
They were gonna make that was supposed to be a feature, like a live feature that ended up in the heavy metal movie.
Yes, and it's the first time that you hear them say brains. I was like, holy shit, that's when led to fucking.
Yes.
Yep.
Right. So this is Trash's Resurrection, right? Which is way now. First of all, Return of the Living Dead was beset with problems, on-set problems that were a fucking nightmare. The fact that they even finished that movie is a miracle, right? That's one of the things that you discover in this article. But this has like Trash, right? She's just like emerging from the mud, and then she's just like shielding her face, and then she's touching her face, realizing that she's a zombie, and she's looking up, and the rain is hitting her face, and she lets out a howl of anguish.
Dude, and the song they picked for it was fucking insane.
Yeah, look at all this shit, dude.
One of the best soundtracks to any zombie film.
Oh, dude.
Dude, and the fact that they brought that song.
Rams, fucking, Dinah Cancer, fucking 45 Grave. Yeah, no, of course.
That whole thing where the guy gets
that
into
whole
his
movie
own,
was
like,
punk rock as fuck.
crematorium, and they're playing that song. So burn the flame into the fire.
Dude, that's
So
my
good.
boy. Yeah,
I
man.
mean, that's one of the things that I really like is when she starts stripping, right? You hear the song very clearly, right? It's very clear. It's very clear, like it's
So
there
good.
to get the sound blaster. But when she comes back from the dead, you hear the song again, but distorted. Especially when she's walking towards the guy and you hear the song distorted. I was like, holy shit.
Well, here's a little known fact about Return of the Living Dead. The soundtrack, they couldn't get all the rights for the DVD release. So the only way to do the original soundtrack is on the VHS release. And I think it was HBO Home Video.
Yes. Isn't that fucking crazy?
I
When
mean,
that came out on
this is how that
DVD, the DVD, by the way, which I've got here somewhere, has a like they didn't even announce it was $10, right, at fucking Best Buy, and it has a glow in the dark. It has an embossed cover that's glow in the dark.
Dude, it's the same thing happened with
For
the
$10.
album of Heavy Metal. Heavy Metal, the album could not be bought for a long time. There was no
Oh
release and
God,
shit.
yes, yeah. The Leonard Bernstein
Yes.
soundtrack too. You couldn't get forever, but yeah, Heavy Metal is one of those movies I was so glad I videotaped it off of HBO, so I had like a pretty good copy. But
dude,
yeah, you couldn't get it for like the longest time.
You know, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. I love that fucking thing.
Me too. I love Heavy Metal, the movie.
Dude, top 10 for sure. For
For
sure.
real.
Yeah.
My father used to tease me all the time.
Dude, I watch it every week. I watch it once a week.
The boobs. I'm like, no, Dad, I've got your Penthouse collection for that. I'm watching it because this movie's awesome.
Yes.
I don't know what.
You know who
I know.
took me to see that when I was a little boy? My mother took me to see that.
Like I don't know.
God.
Usually I wouldn't mind my own business,
She
but I
was
don't know.
like
She has
European, so
something.
she didn't care about the nudity and all that stuff. She bought me my very first issue of Heavy Metal. Like just because she looked at it and went, "Oh, Brian likes comic books."
That's cool.
Yeah,
that's really cool, dude.
Yeah, no, I was very lucky that way. Germans are very permissive when it comes to like nudity, and
don't get me started. I'm in French Canada, so it's the same here.
Good.
People here, it's okay. They're more okay with tits and everything else than actually gore, though.
Yes, it's a much healthier attitude, you know. But of course,
there are some really savage filmmakers coming out of Canada. One of the great things about doing American Horrors is I get to see like all these new filmmakers. And
I see a plug coming.
And I gotta say, man, there are so many awesome filmmakers in Canada. There really are. I gotta give it up to the filmmakers in Canada.
There's one movie that some people give me shit for enjoying, but I enjoyed the first Wolf Cop. I thought that was funny. And
Which one?
Wolf
the
Cop.
first Wolf Cop.
That's hilarious.
The first one, not the second. The first one. The first one.
I think it's shit. I can stand it.
You see,
trash.
Go on.
All right,
I fucking loved it. I loved it.
Did you see Officer Down?
Yeah, that movie's awesome.
All right.
Directed by the drummer of Slipknot.
Turbo.
The clown from Slipknot did that movie.
It's Joe. No, it's a comic. It's a comic book from Joe Casey and Joe Casey and some others.
They did a couple
of pages. I have the comic book. I have the comic book.
Yeah, it's just a few pages.
No, it's an actual.
It's an
actual
comic is
32
the script for the movie.
Sim, I know you've seen this. I know you've seen it. Hart, I know you've seen it. Fucking Turbo Kid. That is a.
I did not see Turbo Kid yet.
For American Mary.
Really?
American Mary is pretty savage.
It's a Joe. It's what all of those 80s comedy gore splat stick movies are trying to be.
Splat stick. I've never heard that term before.
Oh, you know, like it's splat stick. It started with
Evil Dead 2.
Evil Dead 2. Kind of.
Evil Dead 2. It's Three Stooges humor mixed with gore, and it started with Evil Dead 2.
Oh, Dead Alive. Dead Alive, a.k.a. Peter Jackson.
Where they're
that's
playing sketch with the guy's dick?
Yeah. So Turbo Kid is like that, but what makes it work is that it has this huge heart. It has this huge heart. Like you really come to care about the characters. So you're involved much more with the film than you would be if it was, I don't know, like Kung Fury or some shit like that.
Gun Fury was fun. I'm looking forward to the.
I fucking love Kung Fury.
I like me some Kung Fury.
Couldn't stand it. Couldn't stand it. Shit's not authentic. I'm telling you, sir. That's something like that or Iron Sky. They were trying.
I love Iron
Sky. What Turbo Kid?
I love.
Did any of you guys see Scout's Guide to the Zombie?
And they're from
Apocalypse?
Quebec. What was
I
that?
like
the
the
movie was
Scout's
pretty
Guide
funny.
to the Zombie Apocalypse too. That's a fun one.
Yeah, dude, I fucking enjoyed it, dude.
fun.
It's one of those movies that I'm like, I'm gonna press play. Started watching that with the kids.
Yeah, right.
And then you get to the shot of like the tits, and I'm like, I'm not sure we're supposed to be watching that with the kids. and then
Yes, you are.
Then the girls are like, we're good. The girls are like, we're good. We've seen tits before. I'm like, okay, fine. And then we get to the scene of the dick.
Yes.
Remember with the trampoline and the old man's dick?
Yeah, no.
All right.
Then we look at the girls like, you don't tell your mom you watch this, okay, please?
I like the scene. That does a great delivery. The professor or the psychologist
oh my God,
or
he's
the
great.
theologian does a great job.
He's from he was in the Crazies. He's like the doctor that
I gotta
actually
say, through this
discovers
scene-
the cure.
God, that's
but then
another
where
one
the,
of
where the
Mero's
guy
great
dies.
brain damage.
The crazy that was good.
That guy
Yeah.
when he dies, the younger guy, the white boy with the blonde hair, you know, like the main character from most of the marketing for this movie and the posters and whatnot. When he dies, you know, I'm watching it on my phone. I have this movie, you know, but I'm watching it again. I'm looking over, I'm drawing, I'm showing my lady. I'm like, look at the scene right here. And he's like, you know, he's delivering the lines to Kin Foray or whatnot. He's like, oh, dude, don't let me go. Like, it's just, she couldn't even watch it, and she couldn't even hear the fucking thing on my phone. It was too much for her. And that right there, I'm like, oh, it's, you know, and I thought he did a great job. You know what I mean? And it really fucking slaps. And then the whole scene the suspense when it's the shroud is coming down, the veil is lifting from his face.
It's such a
and
memorable
sitting there,
moment.
down to the fucking JD's name, and then dude, he's got to put him to sleep. You know? This one, yeah, this is the hard one for to watch.
You take care of me when I go.
Just try to get some sleep, man. Save your strength.
I'm gonna try.
Yeah, the delivery, right? Yeah, you know, he's done such a good job.
Try. Yeah, I mean, look. I mean, to me, the really heartbreaking moment in this movie is when they're in the trucks and you see Roger's mind just snap, right? Because the dude's a sweetheart, right?
Yeah,
You remember at the beginning of the movie, he's like, has his gun up to John Amplis's character, this Hispanic dude, and he lowers his gun. He's just like I don't want to hurt you, right? And then like when the guy runs, he's like, no, don't go that way. He tries to save the guy's life. So he's just like, that's the thing. It's just like some people's minds, if something like this were to happen, would just buckle, and you see him disintegrating. And it's just.
I don't want to be walking around like that.
Good delivery,
Peter.
Oh, iconic, classic.
Peter.
Yeah, I'm here, man.
Great character, man.
Yeah.
Fuck. Very like reminds me like Ben Foster.
Sure,
you know?
I am coming back.
But it's one of the things I was saying before, like the fact that you see him going from like the easygoing guy, getting traumatized step by step until that shot in the truck. That shot in the truck is where it goes like.
Come back.
Yes. Yeah.
It's his movie in a way, right? His descent, his movie.
Yeah, you see the
descent.
You see him lose his shit, then he loses focus. He gets called on it. Get back on track. Get back in focus. And he still doesn't, and that's when he gets hit. It's the less, you know, yeah.
Yeah, it's heartbreaking. The moment that fucking gets me.
Hey, say you.
The moment that gets me is when the zombie he hits the zombie with the truck and it splatters and there's blood all over the windshield, and so he hits the wipers and he just starts laughing.
Yeah, but that's
hey guys,
that's when
I got a bounce right now. I got Doc coming on right now, and I'm
you fucking traitor.
Sorry. And I got
I got
Hart Fisher on in 2 weeks too. So Hart, I'm gonna see you next week.
Wait.
2 weeks. So,
dude, tell everybody who you are, where you're at, and where they should go after this stream.
Sure. Yeah, if you guys want, come by my stream. It's Open the Gates. And we're going to be having on Doc Blalock. He's going to be talking about a damn dirty thing tonight. And that's going to be on Metal Movies and Brewskis. If you guys want to find me on the Twitter, I'm at Roomcutter Comics or comic. And in 2 weeks, we're going to be having on, next week, we're going to be having on Devil Flyer Rex. And the week after that, which is in 2 weeks, we're going to be having on Hart Fisher. So thanks, guys. Thanks, Brian. Thanks for having me on.
You got it, brother, man.
Love it. And I'll see you guys later.
All right, man.
Well,
I'll at least be all right. Have a good stream. Fucking traitor. Goddamn bastard. Just fucking turn your back on me.
I'm trying to find there was a movie I've watched.
Everybody
if it's Dead Snow or if it's another one, I'm not sure. But there was
Dead Snow and there's
the Nazi zombies.
Yeah, that's plastic. That's okay.
All I know,
it's all right.
I don't know which one it is. There's one that I like.
Give me an.
It's okay. I didn't see Dead Snow 2, but Dead Snow 1 was okay. But you know, it's like that's a zombie.
Drop bombs in all the big cities.
I mean, shit.
It's just a memory more than I don't remember which movie it was. It's just I remember there was a zombie with Nazis, and I was trying to find it, and I can't.
Oh, are you talking about Shockwaves?
I think
I love that fucking movie.
I think that's it.
Oh, it's the shit. It's the shit.
I think that's the one. Yeah.
We covered that. We had Von Klaus on because he's obsessed with that movie.
That's what I said, because I just found like Snow something, and I'm like, no, that's not it. And I'm like, that's why I told you, I'm looking for a Nazi zombie movie, and I can't find it. It was really good.
Yeah. That's
Shockwave. You say was
a late night movie.
Shockwave,
the favorite.
It's Peter Cushing's last movie. It's the last movie Peter Cushing made.
Yeah.
He shot Star Wars before he shot Shockwaves, but he passed shortly after Shockwaves.
Well, he retired.
And they made a remake
of
it.
It still lived for a number of years.
After Shockwaves and Star Wars, like he passed.
Yeah,
away.
that's the one.
Right. He retired, right? And John Carpenter wanted him for Loomis for Halloween, right? But he turned it down because he's like, I'm retired. Now he passed on that, and it went to Donald Pleasance. That you know that was a good thing for sure, right? The thing that breaks my heart is that he was also offered Fright Night, and he turned that down.
No, I think that's good.
That would have been the perfect fucking swan song for Peter Cushing.
Because I don't know, is it a better swan song than the character he played on Star Wars?
Oh, dude, he was.
Oh yes! Oh my God!
Come on!
It would have been because he was playing. He would have been playing a sort of a version of himself.
Yeah, but he got to be in one of the biggest movies ever.
And we got Vincent Price instead,
no? And that's great. Yeah. But for me, it's just for horror fans, for the horror fan in you, wouldn't you have loved to have seen him in Fright Night? It would have been that would have been beautiful.
No, I like Roddy McDowall. I think Roddy, it's like saying, should Tom Selleck put in Raiders of the Lost Ark? No, it would have been the same movie.
Right. Yeah. Not for me.
Come on, Harrison Ford.
And I think Roddy McDowall did a good job in that.
Where they tried to do the same character with him. Or was it Last Road to China? I think it's a High Road to China.
High Road to China. Yeah. Like flying around. He leaves Struts in like Peru. Just fucking abandons his ass there. It's terrible.
You've got to remain rational, logical.
Scientists always think in those kind of terms. It doesn't work that way. That's not how people really are.
You've got to remain logical. We've got to. There's no choice. It has to be there. It's that or the end.
And what you see with like the TV segments is that there's always like point counterpoint, and it's just like the people who are operating from their brains and the people that are operating from their feelings, right? If something like this would actually happen, I wouldn't be surprised if that is pretty much exactly what we would be watching.
Do you think that actor had a real eye patch in real life, or do you think that was done to give him some gravitas?
I think the latter. I think so too. That's an interesting visual choice. It is.
You know, he's being quiet and he's serious. He's like, oh man, we're so fucked.
Right, I know.
You know, it's so good.
But that's the thing. It's like this. I mean, that's the other thing too. This movie was made, I think, for a budget of $2 million, and it looks way more expensive than it actually is.
Well, it's because he's a guerrilla filmmaker. He knows how to put the money on the screen instead of into the catering.
Yes. Yeah. For sure. All right.
Sorry, I like how you put that.
All right, we're gonna wrap up
Hollywood movies, and that's where the money is. It's in the catering, and how much can the producers rip off? And
oh my God, dude!
I mean, I was a Hollywood guy for 22 years, and I had a lot of producers teach me a lot of dirty tricks. And I wasn't interested in doing business that way. I wasn't interested in doing it that way. And you could see why Godzilla -1 cost X amount of dollars.
I know.
Dude, it's fucking insane.
It's an embarrassment for Hollywood, dude.
It's fucking insane. Yeah.
It's just like fucking, because that came out pretty much like the same week here as fucking the Marvels.
Dude,
think about that. Like a $300 million piece of shit. And this magnificent movie, this great film, not just a great horror movie, a great film for fucking $15 million.
And like, dude, that feel when he comes in here. Da, da, da,
As you should.
Dude.
You never get that feeling with the Legendary movies.
They did. I think like the second.
I think the Legendary films did a good job in their own way. They did a lot better than the Matthew Broderick film.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, dude.
I personally enjoyed like the first one. I thought was bad.
Oh, terrible.
The first one. The second one I thought was pretty good.
It was,
and I really enjoy Kong versus Godzilla for some reason. There's just something that was just so fucking fun in it.
I blew out my speakers watching Kong versus Godzilla with Max Devill from Atrocity. Max was staying at my place, and I had this fucking thing cranked at like 2 in the morning. He's like, "Man, that's kind of loud." I'm like, "Fuck it!"
But isn't it crazy? It's like I didn't expect to like that as much as I did. So it's an indication. It's like it's not the CGI. It's not like those things aren't the problem. The problem is storytelling and just good filmmaking.
The problem is that they're trying to fucking make the movie about the people you can identify with in the screen. I don't give a fuck about those cunts. I really don't. Like, put
I care about Pelusador. I care about the hollow earth.
That fucking little cunt from fucking Stranger Things. Leave her the fuck off.
Yes, I'm with you.
And in the fucking like Godzilla fucking thing there, like the fucking like Snoopy squad, the Scooby Doo squad, like the fuck, they just walk in everywhere.
No, I agree.
And that, like, fuck off.
Yes. The moment that really had me with Godzilla versus Kong,
for shit.
I agree. The moment that got me with Godzilla versus Kong was when they introduced fucking the Hollow Earth. It's just like it's like Kong is in Pelusador,
my biggest
floating around in like zero gravity. I was just like, what in the actual fuck?
It's reversal gravity. You have gravity from one end, and then you fall through a field into this other gravity.
Yeah.
Right.
I like it. It's pretty insane. But the thing is,
he's just floating around. I'm just like, what am I watching? This is awesome.
And if you haven't seen the King of Monster one, Brian,
which
watch
one?
it.
King of the Monsters?
Godzilla King of the Monster.
It was okay.
It's fucking good.
I've seen them all.
I just can't stand the mother of the cunt.
I would agree with that.
You're supposed to sympathize with a fucking bitch that just freed everybody, killed everybody, betrayed the fucking world, but then you're supposed to feel bad for a fucking...
No, it's terrible.
I'm with you 100% because it's like, oh, I launched a bunch of nuclear weapons and I murdered millions of people and destroyed property all over the fucking world, and all of a sudden I'm supposed to feel sorry for Hitler?
Just because my kid died.
All of a sudden Hitler's a sympathetic character according to these writers?
I'll be right back.
Yeah, it's fucking insane.
It's
so fucking insane.
It's terrible.
But if you do like me and you skip the people part, it's pretty fucking good. That's what I do when I watch them. I skip the people part.
Okay, I'm gonna confess something. Since I'm a professional editor and I worked editing films and music videos, blah 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 blah. When I watch stuff on I used to have cable and a DVR, right? And when I would watch let's say Sons of Anarchy, anytime I saw an outlaw biker holding a baby and having long pillow talk with his property, I fast forward. And so I would get through a lot of TV shows that way to get past their stupid shit. Like with Walking Dead, oh, it's two people talking in a candlelit room because they don't have enough budget for the rest of the episode. So I'm going to have to listen to these assholes talk until some violence happens around the 25-minute mark.
I know. Dude, I know. I've studied. I have a bachelor's degree in movies and special effects and shit like that. That's what I studied too. And when you know the recipe that in that amount of minutes something that's gonna happen, you just go fuck this shit.
If you're a professional editor, it changes how you view everything. My late wife Waka was Japanese and a horror fan, but as I taught her how to do post-production and she got involved in filmmaking with me and doing the TV show, and also she was an editor. She was a gifted editor. And I had a post-production facility in Los Angeles called Crime Pays Inc. And we had about 9 editors, and I trained most of them. Some of the guys were bricklayers, auto body guys, but I knew how to teach it. And I trained them to act as if they were the director. And so by the end of it, my late wife could just break movies down. The first 15 minutes, she's like, well, I know why this flopped at the box office. And we just knew the beats, and we knew the formula for it. And so like that's why we try to avoid that on the American Horrors channel and try to find films that have a different beat, have an interesting soundtrack, have
like
good
DJ.
I got so
It's
pissed.
basically a
that
video
fucking-
DJ.
I got so pissed at that freaking Godzilla thing that I was so tempted to do it. I almost made my own edition of the movies and cut all that shit out. And I was thinking of putting that on fucking YouTube.
That's what fan edits are for.
It's interesting. I mean, I don't know.
I did something similar for Star Wars when I did a version for me of Star Wars where I cut out that final scene of Darth Vader walking and killing everybody in the thing. And I put it in the first fucking movie. So when I start the first like movie with Luke Skywalker, the episode 4 they call now, right? But the first fucking Star Wars, it starts with Darth Vader ripping everything to shred, and they're running, and then you see, damn.
You see, dude, that is what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Like headcanon, and then thinking like for instance, I did the same thing with Escape from New York. There's a deleted opening, and I just you can do that very simply. Well, like
I did the same thing with
very simple program called.
It's online. Have you guys seen that?
Fucking threw that shit together, and it was just like
cut with
put
what
that
you're
back in the
talking
movie.
about.
The what?
They cut it into the movie, like just like this fan edit. They did that with Escape from New York. Exactly what you're
I
talking
did
about.
it. I did the same thing. Yeah, I did the same thing.
It's awesome. It's cool.
I made a copy of that like
a
few years back.
That's one of the things that's great about physical media. Although now, of course, you can consider digital copies also, because we got to start preserving that shit, man. It's great that we can tinker around with it, right?
But
you know what we don't like about films.
You know what happened with that fucking deleted scene from Escape from New York, right? You know that scene that
in the opening in the subway,
the opening with the robbery,
the opening in the
train,
subway.
Yeah.
That was the thing. It was cut out. You know
it changes the entire film.
It changes the entire film. It's a lot better. Okay, and I had a version that I made, like you said on YouTube there, when I put that thing before. But the point I want to make out is, that Luc Besson made a movie, right? What was the name? Fuck, come on, let me go.
It's okay.
Lock Up, where the president's daughter gets locked up in a space station where they keep prisoners.
Yeah. Lock Up. Yeah.
Remember?
Lock Up with
Escape from Earth.
Not Thomas Jane. It's
no, it's not Tom. No, I know. I'm looking for his name too.
Guy from Memento.
Hold on.
Yes.
Lock Up.
It's the actor from Memento and across
Guy Pearce,
Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Anyway, that's the other guy I said would have been perfect to play in that, by the way. But that said, that they went to court. Carpenter brought them to court, sued the fuck out of him, and he won because the entire fucking movie is the fucking first opening scene that they cut out. Like that scene with his fucking guy with the briefcase, shows the briefcase. And Lock Up is a copy of that movie. Like of just the fucking intro is the premise of the movie. And that's how they won. That's why it's been everywhere. Because it was pretty fucking hard to find before that cut scene. And ever since they went to court, it's been everywhere on YouTube. But dude, it changes everything.
I've got to see that. I've got
the physical media because I like that actor a lot. I like
me too. He's very underrated. I don't know why isn't a bigger star.
One? Guy Pearce?
Well, he's the lead from that film. And
I fucking love Lock Up. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, right? Doomsday. You look at Doomsday, right?
I like Doomsday a lot. But that's totally Escape from New York.
A mashup, right? It's got Escape from New York.
It's like a mashup of Aliens and Escape from New York.
Right? It's Escape from New York, but
and Alien.
Mad Max.
They've got the fucking battle truck right out of Aliens and the fucking British Marines. And I feel like that director who did that, he also directed, what do you call it? The last Hellboy film. Neil Marshall.
Yeah, he did The Descent too, which is great.
I totally feel that he is the British John Carpenter.
Yes.
Like Dog Soldiers.
Isn't it interesting?
Absolutely the British John Carpenter, right down to his scores.
Right? And this is the thing that I find interesting too. Do you notice that you see more of a John Carpenter influence on British directors than you do American? Right? Way more.
Maybe because the Americans ripped him off enough in the 80s.
I think there's something that caught on. Like they love John Carpenter more than we love John Carpenter.
No, I don't. I think American independent movie creators love John Carpenter. Look at The Void. released by IFC Midnight.
Good.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, that's
most movies you see, especially horrors or anything, it's pretty much like a fucking Carpenter movie.
Yeah.
Like look at fucking Rodriguez. Rodriguez, a Carpenter, is another Carpenter, like baby.
Stan. Especially the soundtrack.
Same thing with Quentin Tarantino. Like that guy is also inspired by fucking Carpenter.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, it's a thing that's amazing about Carpenter is how many of his lesser films they get better. It's crazy. Like his movies, I've never seen a filmmaker whose movies age better than him.
I know, right? Like, dude, I've watched like one of the movies that I thought would have been aged really badly, which is Prince of Darkness.
Oh, that's good.
And I've rewatched it, and I'm like, damn, it's still fucking good.
Yes,
it's fucking good.
It's not as good as when it came out. It's better somehow.
Yes.
No, it's way better than when it came out. When it came out, you had these expectations of Halloween or like Mouths of Madness.
Mouth of Madness is fucking insane. I love it.
Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, that's why it's just like I don't know if. Well, wasn't he talking about wasn't there isn't he planning like a comeback or some kind that he's going to maybe do like another Halloween or something like that? I personally wish he would retire.
There was some talk, that he was tempted of coming back and doing another fucking
Escape from New York.
No. The first one was Big Trouble in Little China, and it was Jack. But the thing is, it felt technically he ended up making it a comic because he couldn't get the deal, and that's when he got really pissed at the movie industry, and he turned it into a comic book. And lately, he said that he wanted to come back and maybe do another Escape from. And I was like, I
just wanted to like throw my hat in there and say like I was friends with the people that published those Escape from New York comic books and did the comics.
Not Escape from New York. The Jack.
I didn't seem to really understand the character completely.
That's what I was talking about. The Jack Burton comic books. They did the sequel to the movie.
Right.
Big Trouble in Little China, and then they did Jack.
They didn't just do that one property. They did more than one Carpenter property.
Yeah.
And there was a Snake Plissken. There was a video game called Snake Plissken's Escape.
Really?
And you can look that up. Yeah. You'll see footage from it.
I was going to say, it's called Metal Gear.
What was that?
Metal Gear.
Yeah, it's called Metal Gear.
Dude, when I played the last Metal Gear, like I made sure, like the entire game, I was not going to play as that character. I went to fucking the Nexus Mods site and downloaded the fucking Snake Plissken skin. They also had a Jack Burton skin too, which I thought was pretty funny. But I played that entire game with Snake Plissken. It would actually play the fucking music, the soundtrack, and shit.
I gotta admit, I wanted
it's something I miss.
Moccasin boots so bad.
It's something that I also miss is the fact that before directors, they weren't just looking for fame or a quick buck. They were actually passionate about movies, and they all had their own little cornetto trilogy. Like this was one. For freaking Romero, right?
Yep.
You have the other one that's Shaun of the Dead and all those other movies, right?
Yep.
So Carpenter was The Thing, Prince of Darkness, and In the Mouth of Mouth of Madness. Thank you. And that was his big homage to Lovecraft.
The Apocalypse trilogy, people call it. Which I think is, I really don't see those as a trilogy. The same way I don't see Fulci's what was it?
That's why I said a Cornetto trilogy. Cornetto trilogy is
beyond. People say that that's a trilogy too, and I'm just kind of like,
yeah, really? But dude, the trilogy doesn't have to be
Dead, or is it the Gates?
Thematically, maybe they're trilogies. Thematically, I suppose.
But that's the point. That's the thing with Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and the other one.
Right.
The movies have nothing to do with each other, other than it's a theme. There's a common theme going there. Yeah,
aesthetic.
The same actors.
Right.
So you always see the recurring actors.
Right. Well, yeah, no, which is totally cool. That just comes down to an issue.
That guy looks like Machine Gun Kelly.
What? A fucking pussy. This is really interesting because we discussed before on this stream. High res versus low res, VHS versus like 4K digital.
I kind of prefer VHS. for some of these older films, I don't really want to see them too clean. I think we talked about this last week, right?
Yes.
Of like,
what I'm saying is
shadow.
right here, you could see the string that's attached to this woman's forehead, right? That's how high res this is. And so you see the string is attached to like a little plug of putty or whatever it is that mortician's wax, I think is what Tom Savini was using. And there's like red behind it, right? So he pulls the string and it looks like she's just been shot in the head. But you see the string.
It's spirit gum.
No, spirit gum is what attaches shit to your face.
Well, part of it, guys, we gotta
let me tell you, that shit is not fun to get off.
I know, I've worked with it.
When you project film, right? You're projecting light through a film, right? And it's going 24 frames a second. These new scans are like way more than that, and so we're seeing something that the filmmakers never meant to be seen. This was meant to be in a theater in the dark, where you're looking at a projected image, and that's why some of these things don't look good.
Another thing I want to bring up is the makeup. Like one of the things that's very, very noticeable to me as soon as I started watching those high res compared to when I was younger, right?
Yeah.
You before, like the blue makeup that they have made them look deader. It didn't come out as blue.
Right.
It's weird. It didn't come out as blue-ish. It gave them more of a tint. Now it actually looks like makeup. Like they just
It does.
Right.
You're right.
Yes, Savini regretted that. He regretted that choice.
Well,
but
I think that's where VHS is better, because that's what it was like more suited for, with the muted tones and more like a painting. Like you're an artist, so you're talking about like, look at that artwork. That's a painting. That's not a photo reel, Photoshop cut together.
But you know special effects, you know editing. That could have been fixed. That could have been fixed. Like if they could have taken the time.
No, they could have airbrushed out that wire.
Yeah, they could have airbrushed that wire off. They could have like put a color filter for the to fix the blue makeup effect, to kind of like blur it out. Like I'll just say that like that for everybody to understand, but to blur it out, but Caucasian blur or something or whatever you could do.
Caucasian blur.
Yes.
You know my stance on
you know the word I'm looking for.
Every edition.
On that note, I'm going to get more rum. I'll be right back, guys.
You got it, brother, man. You got it.
I think I can't remember the fucking word for it, but there's different freaking blends that you can do in special effects in After Effects and stuff like that. One of them is Caucasian. I don't know. But it's one of those. Yeah, it's a light little blur that you can erase low imperfection without ruining the pixels. Does that make sense?
Yep. No, totally. And I think that is
Gaussian.
That's what I always thought that computer animation and CGI is best suited for, is when you don't notice it. Is when you don't.
But that's my point. That's what the entire idea is. Like people are like, oh, I hate movie with special effects. You know that even your fucking regular movie, like they erased the entire fucking billboard on the street and changed up that's special effects.
Right.
It's still CGI.
Right. Or you look at like Grogu, the little Yoda character from The Mandalorian, right? And it looks amazing. This puppet is just walking, and all they do is they just erase the puppeteers.
Yeah.
The people that are moving them around, they just erase them, which is totally fantastic. Were you here when I was like showing all this shit off? I think you came in kind of. I think you came in a little bit late.
No, but I was in the chat.
Oh, you were in the chat. That's right. But it's just like I wish you.
I had that edition. I had that exact edition.
Oh yeah. Still not on Blu-ray. Still not on domestic Blu-ray for some reason. And oh fuck, man. I found out.
I did the mistake of lending my collection to somebody.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
My Dawn of the Dead, never came back. No.
Oh, that sucks. That's a pretty cool poster. Mm-hmm. Actually, I mean, there's naturally, this is like, one of the greatest cult films.
Did you see the one I shared when I posted that I was watching that movie?
Yep. Yes, sir. That's a pretty cool one right there.
Nah, I don't like it.
Yeah, I mean it's artsy.
I like the idea, the design of it, but I don't know, for a zombie movie, you kind of want to.
Sorry, fellas, I had to make a rum and coke for me, rum and root beer for me and my lady.
Oh, don't apologize for that. These aren't things to apologize for. This is a great meme right here, of course. We whipped them good and we got it all.
God damn it, you fucking guys got that up there, and I did that at karaoke night with the girlfriend I just made the drink for, bent over a bar stool with her face out to the audience while I spanked her ass to whip it good.
God bless you, sir. God bless you.
Set me up. You fucking guys set me up for that joke.
You're a Chad. You're a Chad.
I did it for real.
I believe you. I believe you.
And I just remembered something I wanted to say earlier. You know what I hated the most about Day of the Dead?
Yeah.
I hated the ending.
I didn't have a problem with it.
I hate the ending.
How would you end Day of the Dead?
Not making you believe that everybody's fucking dead and then making her wake up on the beach with the two guys.
Oh, you're talking about the dream.
I thought that was like, it's kind of like, hey, she dies. Oh, she just woke up. It was a dream.
I hate that too.
Like the way that she.
It's a cheap shot.
It's not about like it's not that she gets to the helicopter. That maybe she fell asleep. They get somewhere, then she gets attacked. No. She's walking out of the fucking base. She walking towards the chopper. The zombie comes out and she died. No. That was fucking cheesy, fucking stupid. It's not.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Pacing-wise, structure-wise, you kind of had to do that, right? Because you're operating always on the rule of thirds. So if you have
they could have made her get to the
sequences that happened before, you have to have a third.
Ryan,
they could have got her to the chopper.
What is the rule of thirds?
She feels safe, falls asleep, wakes up.
What's the rule of thirds?
The rule of thirds is this really, really strange thing. You'll notice it in art everywhere. There's some, and I don't ask me to explain it because it's inexplicable. But when you have something happen, right, that's setting down, I don't know, a motif or an idea or something like that, it has to happen 3 times, right? And and watch films, comic books, but especially in cinema, it's always things happen 3 times.
Is that because people are stupid and you gotta fucking hit it with the head?
No.
I don't understand. I don't understand the rule of
because it operates on the Jungian subconscious. It operates on the Jungian subconscious.
It's something they apply to comedy, and the comedy is
it's back here.
The rule of thirds.
Right.
It's set up tension, delivery.
Right.
It can be put in many fucking things. It's like a 3-part scenario.
I've never heard this before ever.
I said it couldn't be explained. He just explained it.
I don't understand.
I did study. I also studied, dude. You know, I also studied movies and scripting and shadow.
Yeah. Just I'm telling you,
I'm telling.
You'll see it. You'll see it. If you're looking for it, you'll see it.
How I would have ended the movie would have been quite simple. She either makes it to the chopper, right, and she feels safe and secure, and she falls asleep, right.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could have done that. Like she does kind of doze off, look outside, and then like she gets attacked from the inside from the people or something like that, and then she wakes up in the thing. You could let people think that she fell asleep after she fell asleep. Just the way they did it. She runs from the fucking base after all the thing. There's no pause. There's no nothing between her running out of the base, getting to the chopper, and getting bit.
Yeah. Do you know why that's there?
It makes me think that she's dead, and she's dreaming of being on the beach with the 2 other ones.
Right. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Oh, I didn't even think about that.
To me, it seems like a lazy filmmaker that somebody had to blip this on at the end. Like, to me, this sounds like a producer somewhere said, Alex Proyas, when you do your mystery, you got to explain the whole movie and the whole concept before you fucking, it's a mystery. It's a mystery. The character's supposed to wake up in the room with the goldfish.
I think everybody was supposed to die.
Up there, and the producer goes, audiences are too fucking dumb, so we're going to spoon feed them. I don't know about this rule of 3 at all. I have fucking never heard this. I've got degrees in art. I've been doing this for goddamn my whole fucking life, drawing comics since I was fucking 5. I'm going to be 55 in May. I'm hanging out with all these directors and filmmakers and writers. I have never heard of this rule of 3.
That's interesting.
We carried
it's called rule. It's called the rule of thirds.
It's called rule of 3.
It's called the rule of. It's called rule of thirds, not rule of 3. It's rule of thirds.
I've never heard of this.
Also, the way that
it's a composition guide. Like, look, I'm going to read you the rules of thirds. It's a composition guideline that places your subject in the left or right third of an image, leaving the other 2 parts in the. And they do that in scripting at the same time. While there are other forms of composition, the rule of thirds generally leads to compelling and well-composed shots. So they try to apply that to the same thing, but to the scripting, it's the same thing as when you're doing composition.
Yes. Thank you.
Is it a better way of explaining it, art for you? Since you're saying the art aspect of it.
I do.
Yeah.
You're talking about what are your linear perspective?
When you split your image in six squares to make sure that everything is well composed and well directed, that's called the rules of thirds. The same thing when you split the face.
Yes, it's
you try to find the nose, the mouth.
Where I came from as a writer and where I was trained and where my school was more about the hard-boiled school of writing. And the hard-boiled school of writing was about character, and it was about dialogue. It was about an exciting scene between the characters, meaning the people. And then story was almost secondary to the plight of your characters. And the characters interacting with each other was far, like I'm talking Raymond Chandler, Dashiell Hammett.
Right. Love those dudes.
You know what I mean? Like hard. That's where I come from. So I've never, ever, in all my years of doing film stuff, have never, ever relied on a rule of 3. I don't follow. I've never heard of it.
You don't have to. You don't have to. But it's.
I don't get it.
You know what I think happened with the movie?
Let me give you an example.
I look confused, right? I'm not faking this.
I know. Sim explained it perfectly. Let me give you an example of how this is applied in storytelling, right? Now, you remember Westworld, right? The original Westworld with Yul Brynner and Richard Benjamin.
Are you talking about like a 3-act play?
Yeah, it's the same principle.
Right.
Yeah, it's the same principle. That's what I was telling you. It's 3-act play.
It's a 3-act play. It's fucking Shakespeare. 3-act play, story arc. Different nomenclature for older shit. They got to make it sound like.
Yeah, but right now everybody puts it under the rules of thirds because I don't know why.
About the 3-act play.
The 3 acts. Yeah, that's what I told you before.
3 acts. Yeah. There's no rule of 3. You're just talking about the 3 acts that Shakespearean plays have.
It is a rule. Now, mind you, it's
talk about the hero's journey next,
but you should learn the rules before you break the rules.
Yep.
It's not about breaking the rules. It's about human beings. Like, I'm coming at it from a completely different perspective of people.
Well, I want to give you an example.
Stories.
I want to give you an example. You won't let me give you an example.
This didactic of the new Mission Impossible film that all these producers are going to adhere to instead of interesting stories, interesting characters.
Right. Let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. The original Westworld, right? Which you've seen.
I love that movie. Yul Brynner's awesome.
Awesome. Also precursor to the Terminator.
Richard Benjamin and all those actors are fantastic in that film.
Great science fiction horror film, right?
Yep.
And it is really a horror film.
Yep.
It is.
It's incredibly low budget, right? Because they had all the stuff, right?
Was it really low budget?
TV shows were Western TV shows.
Michael Crichton film?
Yes, Michael Crichton. Yeah.
It was one of his first.
Early
it wasn't based on one of his novels.
Train Robbery with Sean Connery.
Yes.
So I don't think it was that low budget, not with fucking film and all those locations they had.
It supposedly was.
Hold on.
So Michael Crichton, one of the ways he got it made was the fact that all the Western stuff, the costumes, the towns, all that shit.
They weren't making Westerns anymore. They're all sitting around doing nothing.
I think it was a pretty decent budget, dude. Because for 1973,
I think so. I think they had a real good budget.
But 1973, okay, the budget, no, the box office was 10 million. Hold on, I mixed it. I thought it was 10 million. Hold on, let me check it out properly. I thought I wrote budget, but it gave me the what they got. So
you can just go to Box Office Mojo or something like that.
Okay, the budget was 1.2 million.
That's pretty good for 1973, Brian.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not low.
Dude, what do you mean that's
it's
not
not
That's
low
a pretty
budget.
damn good
It's
budget.
low budget.
And I would also like to point you out that one of the things that we studied in special effects and in CGI, should have that it was the first movie with some CGI in it. When you had the grid.
Oh, that's right, because of the pixel vision.
Because of the pixel vision with the grid. Yeah.
Okay. So rule of thirds in Westworld. Haven't seen the film, it's like Richard Benjamin has a run-in with the Man in Black.
No, I'm just going to remove the nomenclature and just go 3-act play.
No. So
as long as you tell me it's 3-act play, I get it. The rule of 3 is this new thing they've made up. 3-act play, I'm fine. I get it now.
No, it's not.
No,
there's a bit of a difference to it.
It's very old.
Okay. So I'm still wrestling with this then.
It's ancient. It goes all the way back to the Greeks. It goes all the way back to
I was telling you,
like
it's a bit like the 3-act play, but it's more on the visual aspect of the rules of thirds. Yeah, that's what I was trying to explain to you before.
It has that application. I'm trying to explain how it's used in writing.
Yeah,
trying to explain how it's used in storytelling, right?
Yeah, but how could I have been writing for most of my life and never done this?
Okay. So
that's why I'm confused. I'm like, fuck, I've never heard of this.
No. And dude, it's cool to learn new shit.
None of these other writers I deal with have ever been like, Hurt, you don't know the rule of threes?
It's a thing.
I've never heard this before.
Don't get mad. Get excited.
It's like saying third time's the charm. Third time's the charm. So sometimes, you'll say something once, you'll say it again. And if you say it a third time, you'll hit even harder.
How many times does Richard Benjamin fight the gunslinger?
I don't
right? He shoots him twice.
Right.
And then the third time he shows up.
Michael Myers.
The third time it doesn't.
Well, Michael Myers, the Terminator. He's like the original unstoppable killer, right? This thing that's just coming at you.
The thing from another world is the original unstoppable
because
killer.
It's driven by some kind of malicious
Howard Hawks.
force.
The thing from another world pre-exists this notion.
Right.
The
unstoppable killer. And I love that movie.
I was actually surprised how good it is. Like, I didn't see it I already saw in John Carpenter's The Thing, and I was a little kid, and my friend's dad brought us to see it. It scared the shit out of us. And at the end of the movie, he's like, the original's way better. And we're like, you're fucking insane. And then I saw it on Turner Classic Movies, a nice, really good transfer. And I was like, fuck, this movie's good. God damn.
Which one?
Howard Hawks, The Thing from Another World. Oh my God, this is good. How many people ripped this off? Holy shit.
I know. It's great. See, I had already seen it.
Can you break that movie down into the rule of threes? Like, they've only fought the carrot monster 3 times.
No, dude, you'll see it. You'll see it. Keep an eye out for it, and you'll start seeing it everywhere.
1951, black and white?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that, yeah.
It's really good.
Dude, the fire stunt in that is
the whole
fucking
thing
insane.
where they ripped off the proximity sensor for Alien.
Yes. Well, I wouldn't even say ripped off. I mean, well, no, I would say
they ripped it off. It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because when I steal shit, and I steal shit all the time, I'm not like, oh, well, it's an homage. I'm like, no, I stole that.
And
I just don't use it in an obvious way. I don't lift shit whole cloth.
When we were talking about the ending of Day of the Dead, I just wanted to say one thing.
Yes.
Me, I just think that they were supposed to die, or she was supposed to fucking die, and all the fucking Hollywood people and the fucking thing went, no, you can't do that. You can't kill everybody at the end of the movie, because that's one of the things that a lot of Americans has a problem. If the hero dies,
dude, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. Here's what happened with the original Day of the Dead. First of all, the screenplay is out there. I highly recommend reading it. It is a page turner. Not all screenwriters write screenplays that are fun to read. Most of them aren't, especially when you've got like a guy like Walter Hill, and he knows he's going to be directing the thing, so he just, he doesn't give a fuck about how.
Like when I write my scripts for myself.
Romero.
Yeah, when you write for yourself.
Yeah.
When Romero has too much pride, right? I'm like that too. I have too much pride. It's just like I have to make it read well. I have to make sure that when somebody's reading it, it's a readable script that they almost even kind of hopefully have some fun with it. Romero is one of the rare cases. Him and James Cameron, you can sit down one of their scripts and read it like a book. Fantastic, right? So I wrote, what happened was the original budget for that script was going to be like $20 million. It was going to take place on an island that was like populated by like the wealthy, right? Basically like Republicans. And
Technically, it was supposed to be Land of the Dead.
Orgies all day.
Technically, it was like Land of the Dead. Like they have like the rich people.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead.
And everybody else, the other people on the island, they're all slaves. They're all slaves.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really, really good. And then, of course, you've got not one bub, you have 4 bubs, right? Because they're training zombies to fight to kill zombies, right? Because who would be better at killing, right? Who's going to be safer going out and killing zombies? So, they're like 4 bubs. Anyway, so the producers gave him a ultimatum. They told him, you can make this script, but you're going to have to ease up on the gore. You're going to have to turn in an R-rated movie.
Well, kind of like Sam Raimi had to change the color of blood from what it was in Evil Dead 1 and Evil Dead 2. They had to make it more cartoonish looking.
Right. Well, speaking of which, the George Romero screenplay for Resident Evil is also online, and I highly recommend it. It's Bob's Scriptorama, Drew's Scriptorama, right? Very easy to find. And I'm telling you, it's great because when you're reading these, there's like, you can imagine in your head, like, oh, this would have been dope. Like in another dimension, they made this movie. So they told him, you're either going to have to turn in an R-rated movie, we'll give you $20 million, or you can just, release, because you have to understand at that time, it was very difficult releasing an unrated movie. A lot of movie theaters, most movie theaters would not play a movie if it wasn't rated.
Do you know why that is, Brian?
Show it to the MPAA, and then they would get the next certificate.
I'll tell you why that is, Brian.
Yeah.
I worked in advertising, and my guru in the advertising agency I worked in LA in the 90s was founded by a gentleman that worked on the ad campaign for The Last House on the Left. Okay? It's only a movie. It's only.
Are you going to tell me that is the guy that came up with "It's only a movie"? It's only a movie.
I don't believe that Bill was the guy, but he worked in the ad company on that campaign.
Oh, wow. So whoever came up with that deserves like something.
Well, I learned a lot from Bill. Bill was fantastic.
Nice.
What I would say is it's not that the theater couldn't carry an X film. You couldn't advertise X-rated films in the newspaper.
That's right.
And it's before the age of the internet. So if you had an X-rated film, you could not advertise it in the newspapers. And the newspapers was the number one way besides television.
And they had to hide them in those dark rooms.
The show times. Yes, I do. Thank you so much for mentioning that. I totally forgot that. That's
remember
totally
going to the VHS store?
Too.
Remember when you were going to the VHS store and most of your horror movie were behind those little flip doors in the back room? And when you went to Blockbuster,
you're Canadian, so it was different for you.
We didn't have that.
Chicago, so brother, it was different. They did not give a fuck. The
anything that was 18 plus.
The porno was back there, but the horror was right out there.
Us, if it was 18 and over, it was with the porn.
No.
Quick question.
For me in Chicago, it was not, brother. It was not. 1983, it was right there. If it was horror, it was in horror. If it was porn, it was in the Jack Shack.
Right.
It was different.
Right. So, Sim, quick question, because I always find this shit fascinating. how different cultures handle stuff.
It's like if I would go to a small video store,
on, and he was talking about like how awesome it was, and I was busting his balls because I hate British horror movie fans because I'm jealous of them because I felt like a deviant watching this shit. They were breaking the law. How fucking cool is that?
It's like
the video nasties period.
Yeah.
So Sim, is it like in Europe, for instance, they don't have a problem with sex, they don't have a problem with nudity, but they have a problem with violence. Is it like, since Quebec is a little, it's not Europe, obviously, but since it's a little more European in terms of its sensibility,
it's not just Quebec, it's also
are they kind of like that too?
Yeah. Like the tits and ass is way it's not as bad as very hardcore. That's what I'm saying. When it was, could, like most horror movies, it was like 13, 16 plus. You could find them everywhere. You know, like you go to Blockbuster, they were there. Blockbuster would not have anything 18 plus.
Okay.
Interesting.
I heard the picture published.
You know what it is? It's all
if I would go to one of those little video stores from like, mom and pop at the corner place.
Yeah.
Right? Everything was everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, I could buy the thing I was telling you about, Flash Gordon was right next to Flash Gordon. You know what I mean?
Man, that's badass, right?
Blockbuster was
badass.
owned by
Fritz the Cats was there.
Flash Gordon's right next to fucking Flash
people.
Gordon.
Blockbuster was a chain that was religious.
Yes.
They made people recut their films to be released in Blockbuster.
Yes.
They wouldn't carry X-rated material. They wouldn't at all.
Yep.
Blockbuster, I believe, was a chain from the Mormons, the Mormon religion.
And was it really?
Yes, it was.
That explained
a
lot.
platform where if you were a distributor, you would cut your movie to be released in Blockbuster. So when I was going to video stores, I wouldn't go to Blockbuster because I knew they censored their movies.
Yes.
They had made filmmakers recut their films. And I'm going to say in Canada, my work was banned. The work of Boneyard Press.
Congratulations.
Including my artist for OJ's Big Bust Out, Doing Time with OJ, Rush Limbaugh Must Die, Howard Stern versus Rush Limbaugh, Dahmer's Zombie Squad,
comic book shops
Jeffrey
here
Dahmer versus Jesus Christ. He was a Canadian. And when I sent him the script, just the script for Rush Limbaugh Must Die, Canadian censors seized it. So I had a tremendous problem with my work and Canadian censors. So Boneyard Press, once upon a time, was on a censor list.
Dude,
so I've had
one of the rules here for comic
books. Awesome, dude. Are you
one
proud
of
of
the
that,
rules
Hart? Because you really should be proud of that.
One of the rules that we had here for comic books for a while is that we were not allowed to do anything that fights crime that had violence.
Oh, wow.
That's why if you look at mostly all the comic books that we have, like Quebec comic books, it's more about a slice of life, me and my cat doing Quebec, type of shit.
Or almost exclusively like that.
Or Gaston Lagaffe would be a good example for you guys because I know you know that guy.
Which one? Who?
Gaston Lagaffe. Like it's a French comic book and he keeps doing stupid shit. His name is Gaston.
I'm not familiar with him.
Asterix and Obelix.
Oh, duh. Yeah.
Those are the type. Lucky Luke. Never heard of that one, neither, Nightheart?
Right.
So it's more funny a cartoon than anything else, right?
Gotcha.
So if you to them, French comics are too much hardcore, and American comics are too, same thing. It's kind of fucking weird.
It's sad, is what it is. It's sad because being part of like an artistic scene that's so myopic, where it's not like because comics isn't a genre; it's a medium.
No, but the thing is,
you can tell all the fucking genres that you have in novels and cinema in fucking comics.
But like I was trying to say before, it's the difference is between them not being here and not being made available. It's two different things. So you can go to a place called Black Box, right? And there was another one called the Labyrinth, and you can find most comics, horror shit. All those fucking movies.
Can't find mine.
Any big names?
You can't find Boneyard Press books there. Go look, brother.
They had a whole bunch of freaking comics like Faust and a whole bunch of other things.
Boneyard Press.
They had I don't know.
Banned your shit, huh? They banned your shit. Well, dude,
how can I have heard that name and remember seeing a comic book if it's not available here?
Once upon a time, it was on Sally Jesse Raphael.
But that's what I'm trying to say.
You watched the Netflix special on Jeffrey Dahmer that was seen by 1 billion people.
That's right.
That's right. My book covers are altered a little bit, but my book has been seen by 1 billion people.
That's amazing. That's so cool.
It's just a fact.
No, that's
what I made money off it. It just means it's happened.
Tell me, when you got banned, I could understand that you probably got angry, but was there a part
I got
of you that
scripts
was proud of
stolen.
yourself?
I know the feeling, Hart. Some of them are big movies.
Yeah, we'll talk about My Chemical Romance a different day.
Oh shit!
Guardian of the Galaxy.
You know, it's almost midnight.
It's time to hop off, guys. It's time for me to make my woman some food and spank her booty.
Yeah, but here's the thing. First, you need to tell these fools where they can find you and also why they should be watching American Horrors.
Well, Brian, it's always a pleasure to come on here. I really have been enjoying coming on your show and talking horror. You know, I love horror. It's why I do the American Horrors television channel. Here, I'll take these off. It's why I do the American Horrors television channel. I do it because I love the horror genre. I've loved it since I was a little boy. And American Horrors is the TV channel I wish existed when I was a kid. It's completely uncut. There are no commercials during the feature films. We have original programming. We have uncut music videos. We have old crazy commercials where Joe Friday is going to tell you how safe cigarette smoking is. It's a lot of fun. It's totally free. You could watch it on your Roku. If you're on Roku, there's an app, a Canadian-based app called We Are Streamers on a Budget, run by George. Good to see you, George. And so you can watch American Horrors totally for free on Roku. Go to, we have our own app, American Horrors, AMHOR, AMHOR will be the code word to add the channel for free. And you can watch online at www.americanhorrors.net. And I have new books that are out. I've been sitting here, like, as I've been flashing different artwork and stuff. It's because...
Oh, have you?
Yeah,
well, dude,
I have.
You're flashing
artwork and stuff like that.
Dude, hold on a sec. If you're flashing artwork during the stream and I don't notice it because I didn't notice it, say something and I shall embiggen your screen.
This is the original cover for Jeffrey Dahmer versus Jesus Christ, but the artist didn't get it done in time. His name is Tommy Pons. If you're a fan of it's this heavy metal band, something with clowns. And so he did this cover, and because he missed his deadline, I ended up drawing the cover for Dahmer versus Christ. Because he didn't make his goddamn deadline. So as we've been doing the show, I've been steadily signing books for our mystery box program. We have a whole program at American Horrors because, man, I know how expensive this stuff can be, guys. I know that a lot of the eBay prices on my work is really expensive. So with a mystery box from me, Boneyard Press, at AmericanHorrors.net/shop, look up Boneyard Mystery Box. I'm drawing new pencil sketches.
Nice.
So for the first time in 15 years, I'm doing new artwork for these books. And I'm doing them in my original sketch pads. So these are
congratulations, dude.
Sketch pads that I've been working in since 1989.
That's so cool.
Like this guy here. Okay, this is a sketch of a friend of mine. This guy right now is the sound man for Five Finger Death Punch. So when you go see Five Finger Death Punch, this is my sketch of my friend from 1992.
Oh my God.
And this starts in 91. There's a bunch of different kind of pencil sketches in there because I was a bouncer at a bar in Champaign, Illinois called Mabel's. And I would sit there at work sometimes and just sketch the people hanging out, you know. And then I went on to start using this to draw stuff for my comic book Dark Angel. So I'm figuring out like different martial arts stuff and sketches of the jacket and how the headband worked, you know. So I'm drawing stuff 4 of these Boneyard mystery boxes right out of this sketch pad. This is a page that I took out. It's something I just drew 2 nights ago.
Bitchin'. Dude, you know what you should do? This is just an idea. When you run your next campaign, you should go through all that shit and pick your favorite stuff and include that like as like a ash can or something like that.
One of the things we're talking about doing, so we just did Poems for the Dead. It's coming out in hardcover. This is the proof of the book. It's my first collection of poetry. Originally sold in the Hot Topic bookstores in the 90s. And then Chaos Comics, Brian Polito's company, did a version of Poems for the Dead. And so now we have this limited, signed edition with artwork from Jill Thompson. This is Sarah Hill. We've got this up on the website for pre-order. I want to show some more cool artwork. This is from tattoo artist Bob Vessels, who's a big tattoo guy out of Los Angeles.
Nice.
And so we're doing a lot of really cool publishing stuff that's happening like right now. And I'm about to reprint the big Dahmer omnibus. And I'm having a lot of fun with American Horrors. I would tell people definitely go check out the channel. It's free. It's got like a lot of the films that we talk about here on the show. I really like coming on and talking horror. As you guys can tell, I love
me too.
Horror.
And it's great talking with people that are passionate about the subject, where it's like we're all talking over each other and shit. Yeah, no, it's.
And I know these guys. Like, okay, if we're going to talk about Friday the 13th, I'm friends with Harry Manfredini that did all this score work. If you want to talk about the remake of Friday the 13th, the guy who played Jason, Derek Mears, was one of my training partners at GoCore and Gene the Bells in 1999. Okay, so I've got this long history.
You had a fascinating life, dude. You had an interesting life.
At least 3 different Leatherfaces. David J. Scow, who wrote the Crow film, and his wife introduced me to my wife.
Oh, it's not David J. Scow, it's David J. Shao.
Oh, is that right?
Yes. Scow is the guy who writes...
Scow.
Right. Scow. Yeah, the guy who... he's like the one that did the
Monster
Monster
Show. Knew Dave, and I actually hung out with Dave, and I was actually in his house often. I'm going to say Scow.
Oh, is that how it's pronounced?
It's Scow, buddy. I've lost some very bad.
All right, that's my bad. That's my bad. Because it's one of those names. It's just like you read it a lot, but you never hear it. You never hear it pronounced.
Well, I know it because I know
Dave. Finally, you hear somebody say it, and then you realize, like your entire life, you've been saying it wrong, at least in your head.
Like massacre.
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 Tomato, tomato.
To my baby,
thanks for having me here, man.
Right, dude. Always a pleasure. You're always welcome. Anything that we can do for you, let us know. And everybody, do go check out American Horrors. It is a pisser. Sim, tell these fools where they can find you.
You can find me on any social media under Sim_Inkslayer. And, go check out the InkSlayerEntertainment.com, where you can find all my books, and especially now all my books on Amazon. Go check it out.
That's so cool. I got to do that, except maybe my contract won't let me. Yo, Pops, you there, bro?
Yeah, I'm here. Look, you can find me pretty much anywhere, and it could change any day. So,
all right. Everybody, well, that was freaky. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. I really do appreciate you. Spank that subscribe button, ring a ding ding dong the bell for notifications. And Pops, are you going to take us out with the promos and shit?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Pops is at the ready. Okay. Until next week, peace, love, and metal.